Hello everybody, welcome to Monday. It is time to fly the Airbus once again, because as much as I love my Boeings, I got bored again and wanted to go back to Airbus, like immediately. And here we are in San Francisco, today going on to DFW, Dallas Fort Worth, with this A321 from American 986 Alpha November. We'll be on the network today as well. It looks like there's not much coverage right now. At least in San Francisco, it looks like we're skirting around LA with our flight plan, and then we have nobody the whole way. But we'll see. We might pick up somebody. Actually, for the first time in a long time, I see that Hawaii has coverage. Oakland Center all the way out there. Yeah, wow, okay. That's surprising. But anyhow, for our flight today, we have not much going on. What's up? Vintage Pilot, welcome back. Quasi Stellar, welcome back as well. Hope you guys are having a good day. Or evening for you, Quasi. Let's see here. I'm trying to figure out what I need to do. We can jump inside the airplane and say hello. And probably get ourselves starting to align. Got ground at the airport you're at. Are you on what airport are you at? Are you doing a Vatsim flight as well? Because I know you expressed interest in doing a bunch of that stuff. Where is what I'm looking for? Oh yes, this is what I was gonna say. Chat, I'm all over the place today. So I was doing some research and I found out something very cool about TOLAs that they just released recently for all the series. If the reflection wasn't that bad. Notice anything different about the ISCS on the iPad? If you haven't picked it up already, there's a beautiful update that they just published, which added this two-tiered tab kind of system. It's basically the same thing for the bottom. The bottom looks just like it did in the old TOLAs, before the update at least. But there's one difference that I immediately noticed when I loaded in, which is this right here. This is SimBrief. And when I hit download OFP, hopefully, it should download my flight plan and put it in active once I load it into the FMC. There you go. There is my actual OFP from SimBrief in the TOLAS ISCS screen, and I can page through the whole thing. I can switch it to dark, I can switch it to light, and it's just here. It's literally here. And if I don't want to bother loading it manually myself, I can pop over here, go to my init page, do my typical init request just like this. Let that load for a second. Obviously, I have it to quick load because I'm not one of those people that likes to just immediately load a bunch of stuff. But yeah, wait for this to load in. And there you go. So now we got our weights in. You can see the weight up there, 26,580 pounds of fuel today. We'll find out how much packs we have. 48,400, or yeah, 48,400 pounds of passengers. But look, it's in active now. So I have it in both now. And it loaded the active from here. And if I go in and do a secondary flight plan, it will pop up in there with the OFP. It's crazy. I'm so happy they did this. Very, very happy that they did that, for sure. Get our wins in there because we have them. And we'll just sit on the flight plan page. And I have the tow bus, or what is it, tow bus? Is that what it's called? It's a fly with Lewis scripts. Yes, tow bus. So it gives me my prelim and my complete load there through ACARS, which is pretty cool. And it also, on the auto DGS, shows the PAX load, shows my flight info. There you go. The airport. Tells you the time for takeoff. Tells you the runway that we have planned. Tells you the SID we have planned. And then it also tells you, I believe, the... Does it still tell you the gate number? No, but that's okay. And then it tells you the time Zulu, which is pretty cool. Oh, nice. Yeah, the 172 is fun. I definitely enjoy Cessna. Cessna's a fun airplane. I mean, I've flown both Cessna and Piper, but like I like my low wings, but Cessna I really enjoy. I do really enjoy flying Cessna. Let's see here. We will at some point do GA on stream as well, because I usually do GA in Misfits. At LGAV, I'm not on Vatsim, I got Atlanta running, doing some learning with the caravan. Yeah, nice. That sounds fun. Sounds really fun. Reset this. I need to select the runway and do all that. But before we do that, let's figure out what they're departing here in San Francisco. Obviously, they're offline, and on my iPad, which I need to figure out how to get that over to stream, or at least get another monitor so I can actually capture all that junk properly instead of just slamming it on a new window. I prefer it to be kind of dual pane or drag and drop kind of thing, but I haven't set that up. So what I have is 28 left, Trunkin 2, Syra, so let's go ahead and put that in. Departure will be off of 28 left. Can we do the ones actually? I kind of want to depart the ones if they're using them. They are not using the ones for departures. Okay, never mind. So it'll be 28 left. Trunkin 2. Or Truckin 2. Trunkin, yeah. Truckin 2. And then this is the Syra transition, which will be on the next page. There we are. Insert that. And then temporarily into DFW. Let me take a look at the approaches and select something. It looks like we can do the ILS Zulu, and that'll connect with it. If we wanted to do 1-3 right, which I guess is a runway option for us, so we'll do it because it's a straight in. So we'll be going on the runway 1-3 right Zulu. There it is. Via the Victory, what is that, Victory 2? Keep going, keep going. Holy moly, there's a lot. Victory 2, and that's the... Actually, it already put my Moray transition in there, which is weird because it should be something else. Hold on, let me check this real quick. I guess that works. And then do the... Where is it? Madano? That one. That's our transition. And we enter that in, just like that. Sweet. Very interesting departure out of LGAV, which is not 100% sure the caravan will be able to do it. Interesting. What departure did you get? Is it just out of limits of the airplane, as in like climb rate and stuff like that, or is it just like terrain, or what are you worried about with the departure? Also, holy glare. Like, God, that is bright. Alright, let's calculate. I'm okay with that. 56, 56, 58. So, go in here, 156, 156, and 158 today. And it'll be 1 up 0.1, 56. 1 up 0.1. Put that in there, and then 56 for the flex temp. Alright, that's all set up. I have us pushing at... What time did I say Zulu? Well, actually, I'll use the new OFP thing. 2030 Zulu. It is currently 2011 Zulu. So we have a little bit of time here to just chill out before we get on our way. Unfortunately, still looking like we will not have coverage as of right now, but I'm kind of hoping maybe as we go through the flight, people will pop on a little later. Then we'll be good to go. But I hope you guys have been having a good Monday and enjoying your time. I know for me it's been quite a busy weekend, and then yesterday was pretty relaxed, and today as well, and then I'll have some stuff coming up. Be busy, very busy this week, and also my stream that usually is on Friday is going to be on Saturday just because of time constraints and such, and I also have a golf tournament with my fiance's dad on Friday. That's something I do IRL, is play a lot of golf. And I'm not too bad. I think I'm a plus 0.6 handicap right now. I think that's what yeah, that's what I am right now. Used to be like plus 1.5, but then I haven't played in a little bit, so I fell off just a touch. Echo departure, very sharp turn shortly after departure. Yeah, that's always challenging, but it's always fun. I always like those types of departures. And I'm going to do one thing that I advise everybody who flies on network to do, which is for my top altitude, I am not going to select cruise even though people are offline. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to select the top altitude for the departure. So I'm opening the chart, and the top altitude is listed as flight level 190. So I'm going to put that in there. Okay. And the reason why I put 190 in there... Hello, my airplane is aligned now. The reason I put the 190 in there for the altitude is, imagine if ATC pops online. I'm in the middle of climbing out, and there's traffic conflicting, and they're expecting me to fly the departure. I'm supposed to maintain at the top 190, and then after that, according to the chart, it says from Truckin on transition, maintain flight level 190, expect filed altitude 10 minutes after departure. Meaning, after Truckin, I should be up to flight level 190, and 10 minutes after Truckin, I can continue climb. Now, granted, if we open Vatsim radar and we see there's no traffic, absolutely you can climb up. But if you are, let's just say if you are questioning if they're going to pop online or not, which sometimes you don't know. Sometimes people just pop online randomly. The best thing to do is just to do what you're going to do with lost comms, or whatever your lost comm procedure is, because that is going to guarantee that you're going to have traffic separation with other people, you're not going to cause a conflict, and you're not going to be that one guy that cuts everybody off on approach, or the one guy that starts climbing out on his departure and ends up climbing into a bunch of arrival aircraft, or et cetera, et cetera. So that is something that's very, very smart to do when you're on network. Besides that, let's see what we need to do with the airplane here. Everything's kind of chilling for now. Oh, we can turn the dome light off. It's the middle of the day. That's all good there. All the switches look fine for me. I'm happy with all that. What else do I want to do right now? That's all fine. I can turn this up now because we're actually on and it's not just my intro. I used to play golf, was never very good at it. Yeah, it's a tough sport. It really does like take a while to get really good with it. It probably took me about like 5 years, but I started when I was a kid, so I kind of picked, you know, kids tend to pick things up quickly, I guess, you know, because they're more receptive to learning all that. And I have been pretty gifted in a lot of things, but golf is one of those sports where I was very, very gifted, which I'm lucky to have a sport that I'm able to just play and enjoy. Well, I say that, but it's golf. You can't really... You can enjoy it, but when it doesn't go the way you want it to when you start playing good, the better you get, the more you get nitpicky and it gets tougher on you mentally. But I think that's kind of any sport. The more pressure you put on yourself, the less you enjoy it, and the more you start to nitpick and just get angry about it. It's all the mental game, mental strategy. Which is very important in aviation. Fatigue and human factors, complacency, a bunch of things. A bunch of things all matter. How many AC units can they have? They said yes. Holy moly. Good job. Global Scenery really trying to keep these people cold. I guess we're refrigerating our passengers. Holy... Oh, those are solar panels. I was like, if those are more AC units, that would be nuts. Looks like on the field we have... Who's that? Air Canada 738 MAX over there. Air Canada 742. Shout out if you are watching. You're probably not, though. I highly doubt people know I'm on. Anybody on arrival? No, not really. It's kind of quiet here. Which I guess is a good thing for us. We can get out quickly. My high school's teacher was a golf team coach. He tried to get me to join golf, but they wanted $150 for me to join. I said no. Fair enough, yeah. I would not be joining for $150. Luckily, I was able to join our teams for free. So, that was good. I mean, it's an expensive sport to begin with, so them charging you that much is kind of annoying. I'm with you there. Alright, let's get the altimeter and the weather, shall we? That's kind of an important thing, guys, if you're going to fly. I think the weather is a very important thing, kind of critical to have on board. So we'll switch this over to inches, because we are in the USA. 299.5 is our altimeter. Conditions 310 at 17. Oh Jesus. Visibility 10 miles. Few at 600. Let's see if that's true. Well, I guess that could be 600. Yeah. They say few at 600, and then ceiling is at least 12,000, which I can concur. It's just few clouds there. I think this might be fog building. If I know the West Coast like I do, that is absolutely fog. I'm surprised it's not pouring over the Golden Gate right now. If it's in the bay, let's go up in altitude and see if we can see some in the bay, some fog, which it looks like there might be, although this looks kind of more like haze right now. Because the temperature is only 18, dew point 12, so humidity's about, I would say that's about 60-something%, I would think. And then, like I said, the altimeter 299.5. And San Francisco Airport is completely empty. Well, besides the two of us, I guess. What? Wait a minute. Air Canada delivery. I need to update my CSLs, because that's not a MAX, and that's definitely not Air Canada. Definitely not in this generation either. Holy moly. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I definitely need to update my CSLs. Yeah, look at that. It's definitely fog that that's probably what the sim is trying to put in here. We're gonna get fog, so 1621 we're pretty much ready to go. So
One time they gave away our golf clubs to students at the high school. 6 kids got suspended or expelled for threatening other students with the golf clubs.
wow, okay. Yeah, that's that's one way to use golf clubs, I guess. Good lord. That's not good. Luckily, our team was not to that level of activities, but a Boeing bus. Yeah, that's yeah. Let's take a look at another look at that aircraft over there. So it's supposed to be a Max 8. That is well, yes, we want it to be like that. There we go. This looks like it's I don't even think that's a 700. I think that's like a 300 or 500, isn't it? Because especially in that old United livery, that livery's got to be old as shit. It could be a 7 and I could just be blind, but no, wait, is there a... Nope. I was gonna say, normally they put it on the front of the nose, but not on this CSL. I'm not that great with identifying the older Boeings. Go with the newer ones, but not the older ones. I mean, it's got no winglets, so it's got to be like a 5 or a 3, maybe even a 2. No, because the 2 would have those distinct cigar engines. So it probably feels like it might be a 5. Or the... Yeah, I don't know what United had at the time. Alrighty, I'm gonna start my APU and call the tug.
Grounded cockpit, tow is driving up.
So, wait for the flap to come open there. You can go ahead and close the luggage doors because they are done loading bags by now. We'll leave that going for now. We could close the boarding door if we want. Why not? Ah yes, and there's our scary looking tug driver, and by scary looking I'll show you. Yeah.
Some doors are still opened or the GPU
yeah, and he
or
talks
the
like
ASU
that.
are still connected.
He talks like
I'm
that.
waiting for all of them closed and disconnected, then I will proceed.
Yeah, Vintage, you might be right. That could be a 400. It could be. You could be right there. Alright, flap open, we can start that. And we'll let that start up. There she comes. Nice. Our taxi out of SFO is going to be a little bit long, but that's... So it is at SFO, unless they're using the ones, but they're not today. Is there any... I should double check if there's anything I need to worry about. Oh, one left and one right are closed. That's why. Numerous taxiway closures for the construction on the field. Oh, that's right. They're doing work with whatever the hell. I forgot about that. Yeah, so they're doing work on the ones, if I remember right. Somewhere between like, it's like south of Foxtrot near Whiskey and Golf, I think, somewhere over there. So on the airfield, that is going to be over by like here, this area right here. They're working on it, sounds like, right in that area. So we'll probably go out. I think we go out to Foxtrot is where we're going to taxi. So we'll go out on Alpha. Or maybe Bravo. No, Bravo would be the taxiway. So we'll go out on like Mike 1 out to Bravo, go across Bravo, all the way up to Foxtrot, make the right on Foxtrot, and follow that down to 28 left is probably our plan. So it'll be Mike 1, Bravo, Foxtrot is our plan for our taxi. Oh my god, thanks for the nightmares. Yeah, you're welcome. It's a horrible... The better pushback is just genuinely, I'm like, ooh, that guy is, he's a little special there. conditions. Or not conditions, conditioner. I need APU and then I need bleed. That's what I need to check now. So I can turn that on now. Make sure that valve opens. We get good pressure. And we have it. So we can go ahead and disconnect the pressure outside. We'll do the GPU ourselves. There we go.
Okay, all doors
There we
and
go.
hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Did they remove the jet bridge? Or they're doing it right now? Perfect. So that's all closed. We can go ahead and tell the flight attendants. First of all, the cabin lighting I always adjust in the TOLUS because it's way too bright. And then second of all, arm doors and cross check. Alright. Turn on the transponder. I already got the squawk code from the PDC. Well, it's not a PDC, but it's the auto one because we're in the US.
Yeah, mostly 300. Yeah, the 300 is what I thought it was a 3 or a 5, yeah. A321 just landed at LGAV.
Yeah. A321's a fun airplane. For sure. Alright. So let's get ourselves over to there. We're all good. Alright, let's plan the push.
Ground to cockpit.
Oh, I've been out of here
Please tell
before.
me where you want to go.
That's kind of cool. Let's delete this and just reset it, just in case the plugin decides to have a stroke. Never want that.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
We will do so. So let's turn on the beacon and make sure we're clear behind. We are. Okay. We'll go ahead and release the parking brake. And we'll go down here. Crank
Starting
switch.
pushback, and you may start engines.
And the pressure is ready. We'll start number 1. And we have beautiful IAEs, correct? Yes, we do. We have IAEs on board today, which are my favorite engine type for the COs. I love the IAEs. They sound so good, too. They sound amazing. Absolutely amazing. We'll leave the music on since we're not dealing with ATC. Usually I turn it off if we're going sterile, but... Alright. M2's rising and 1's rising. Roll EPR as well. EGT. PSI oil's coming up. And that's available. We should be turning in a second, just making sure we're clear. Hello, fuel truck. Yep, that's where you want to stop. Probably clip through you and everything. Alright, we'll start the number 2 engine now. Here comes our PSI. N2 rising. Very fast N2 is rising. Wow. And waiting and wait. Oh yeah, also while I'm saying wait and balance, they updated this as well. There used to be like the envelope and then the ground services had, like, you would go into ground services and it would have something and there was a weight and balance sheet and it was a slider and a bunch of different, it looked completely different than this. They've changed it now where it's all on one page and it looks pretty good now. I like this page a lot. So it's pretty sweet what they've done with the TOLUS. I'm very happy with how they keep making the product updated and they're doing a very good job. GN Airline, also got Olympic Airline 320 taxiing for departure, nice.
Operation complete.
Available.
Go ahead and set the parking brake.
So 2 good starts, we'll switch that back.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Overhead, APU bleed, and APU master switch off. That wasn't armed, whoops. And then we can go ahead and do retracts to off. And we can go ahead and do flaps 0.1 and do our flight control check. And then trim was up 0.1, which it's set. Alright, flight controls are free and correct, and my stick is not having issues, because the stick I have is the Thrustmaster Warthog style stick. But the stick itself, the gasket in there, it's an older attachment that I have, the base at least, and yeah, the actual base, there's like an O-ring in there that comes loose.
Tail is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have fun up there.
And yeah, occasionally when I'm flying it will the O-ring will come off, and I get like the stick completely loose to one side and it'll just move around like crazy. I'm like, yeah, that's not what I want when I'm trying to fly the airplane. So I figured out how to fix it, which there are some videos online how to do it, but it's essentially just take the O-ring out. And there's our creepy guy again. Oh my god. Jesus. Alright, so we're cleared. He's gonna go drive his creepy ass away and smash into a fuel truck. Almost. Nice. That's what we want. Alright. Let's do the test here. Arm the speed brakes as well. What's the matter? Delay oil temp. So we'll leave that like that. We'll clear the master caution, but we'll leave this on the ECAM, and then once those oil temps come up, they'll clear. And we'll be good to go. Let's see here. I don't know what I want to... I need that. And overhead panel looks great. This is all good. Yeah, sweet. I'm not missing anything. Alright. Oh, wait. Yes, I am. Clear that. The GPS primary. And I always put the prog up here. Yep, that's fine. Okay. Here we go. And we have 120.5 for San Francisco. That's in there on the left. Alright. San Francisco traffic. American 1711 pushed off of Bravo 22. We're going to be taxiing to runway, or actually not Bravo 22, off of Bravo 16. We're going to be taxiing to runway 28 left on Mike 1, Bravo, and Foxtrot, San Francisco. Alright, we'll use the parking brake. Push the throttle up. I've completely forgot what gate we were at. I was going to be at Bravo 22, but I did a flight earlier today, and I was out of Bravo 22 somewhere else. How does he keep getting worse? I know, right? Like, the model for that better pushback, like, I get it. They want to, you know, we don't want some high fidelity thing that's gonna chew your frames up, but like, still, like, at least make a decent model person that doesn't look like I'm looking at an SCP file. You know? Just saying. That might help a little bit. I'm gonna take this line right here. Just because it's closer and gets us out a little quicker. This ramp in here is a little bit wonky compared to the real life. I think they need to update whoever the community is, or whoever made this on the community needs to update it. Alright, oil temps are good. We'll get the cabin check once we're across the ones and we're closer to 2.8. Okay. Right. So out here on Mike 1. Then we're going to Bravo. Bravo is there. There we are. So cross over onto Bravo. Okay, yes, there is definitely a taxiway sign in the middle of the taxiway. Good. Thank you, Xplane default scenery. I use default scenery for all of it. I don't really have much of a preference, but sometimes that stuff like that makes me consider why I don't. You know? It's the type of stuff that makes me go like, yeah, maybe I should have good scenery for some of these airfields. And that Air Canada Max is still at the gate, so we probably will be the first one out. That windsock, yeah, it's gonna be some nasty wind here on departure. Yep, these all look good. Sweet. We will have to figure out, once we're airborne, if anybody else popped online as well. I'm hoping maybe we get ATC on the way in. Hopefully. But we'll see. It's 1:37, or I guess 13:37 local time here in San Francisco. So I don't know if anybody will be on right now, but maybe. We'll see. Hopefully, like I said, Dallas, I'm hoping we'll get people on, because by then it'll probably be around, I think it'll be around 6 something. So around 1800 will be nice. Were those birds? They were. Gotta keep an eye out for that. That doesn't exist anymore, so it's only Foxtrot chat that you can go. That's actually what they're working on, but I was gonna say, on the chart you can even see it's gone. That taxiway doesn't exist. We are noticing birds, and I'm getting worried about that. I don't know if they get sucked up into the engine or not. I can't figure this out since last time. Beyond ATC and Say Intentions. So I personally have not tried it, but I've heard good things. I've heard good things about it. Oh my birds. Holy Hudson. Anyhow, yeah, I've heard good things about it. Let me just get a radio call across the ones here. San Francisco traffic, American 1711 is going to be crossing 1 left and 1 right on Foxtrot, San Francisco.
19 right.
Okay. But yeah, I've heard some good things. I think the biggest thing I think about it is, like, sure, it's nice if you want to do stuff like offline on your own, but I just enjoy more being on and having actual people controlling, because it just, you know, if I want to fly with other people on the network and stuff like that, I think it's fun on Vatsim. But Say Intentions and all that, nothing against it. It's just
Approaching 1 right.
It's its own thing, you know? I actually kind of want to try it at some point, but we'll see. I'm more used to Vatsim and enjoying more of that, because it's just what people do in real life then. You know, you talk to, it's people to people, so. Probably in your case, Quasi, because you're trying to learn, or looking to maybe learn to fly and stuff like that with your 172 and all that. If you want to do like Vatsim, that's a good icebreaker. Go on the AI stuff and get used to kind of talking to the robot, and then get on Vatsim and do that after you've kind of gotten used to it. Could be a good way to get into Vatsim. Back and in the air, cool, nice. How was the departure? Yeah, we're coming up on 2/8 now. I'll tell the cabin that we're almost ready to go. AC, ATC with that is okay, but you have to spend a few hours teaching it to understand you before it works well. Oh, is it like one of those, like you have to do like the speech recognition stuff? Is it one of those things? Because that sounds, I mean, it sounds annoying, but I'm sure once you get it done, it would probably work fine, but a couple hours, man, that's, boy. Again, from my case at least, it's just not worth it to do the AI if I enjoy flying on network, you know? But nothing against it. Alrighty, we're approaching our runway here. Runway 28 left for departure. Stay on center line, please. There we go. It looks like we got no traffic on final or anything. Nothing that I see out there. There's no departures or anything, so I think we'll just keep it rolling here and call. San Francisco traffic, American 1711 is going to be taking off from runway 28 left on the Truckin' 2 departure, San Francisco. Okay. Let's get our lights on. Strobes, all that stuff.
Approaching 28 left.
Yep. And enter the runway. We'll start the flight timer. Clear, clear. Ooh, what a lineup.
On runway 28
Did a good job of that
left.
today. Alright, now let's not screw up the takeoff now that we did that good lineup. Alright. And... thrust set. Airspeed's alive. Man flex 56 SRS runway. Auto thrust blue. It's 100 neutral. Yeah, the wind's helping us right now. 17 knots of wind or 10 knots of wind right now. There's our V1. Rotate. Bring her up. Positive rate of climb. Gear up. Start our... .400, we can turn on the autopilot. 1,000. It's just gonna capture that curve there, which is fine. I don't know why it's doing that though. Prefer it to maintain heading first before doing all that, but that's fine. Whatever. Not in the way of anybody. Oh, what a D-rate. Excellent. Alright. Climb thrust, we could stop the chrono, only 1:25. I'm gonna wait till we're closer to our flaps up speed here. In the meantime, speed brakes disarmed, and nose wheel light off. Let's continue climbing out. And we can go flaps up speed checks. And there's downtown. Look at that, downtown off the nose. As we keep turning here over the hills. Speaking of hills, terrain radar. Probably good to see that. You can see it on the ND there. But we're clear off the train.
2,500.
Yep, that's just the hill below us. Just that nice hill below us there. You climb up and over. And into the clouds a little bit here. once we roll wings level, I'll give a radio call. We're departing to the east. In fact, I'll do it now. San Francisco traffic, American 1711 is passing 5,000, departing to the east. Final call, San Francisco. And now we'll jump over to 1228. There we are. We can start scoping out just a bit here. And we'll jump to, there's our view of San Francisco right there. Off the wingtip. Golden Gate's behind the clouds a little bit. Nah, you can kind of see it through there. And Oakland should be coming up shortly as well, underneath us. I think you might be able to... Actually, probably... Yeah, there it is, right there. There's Oakland right there. Oh, cool. Plane's banking right to it. We can see it. Perfect. We continue to climb out here. Right about not being able to make the sharp U-turn. Even at my tightest turn rate, I still did a very wide turn. Yeah, I mean, depends on where you are. With some of the departures, there's speeds for them to help you around the corners. I know in England and other places they have actual speed restrictions to help you maneuver. All this is on, that's fine. Coming up on 9,500, 10,000 will be our transition to our higher speed for climb. And it does look like we will have Albuquerque Center now, but that will be in a little while. We're gonna have quite a bit before we get there. So there's our 10,000. We can go ahead and do this, that's wing lights. Leave everything else on as it is, and we can go ahead and hit the roll call to let them know we're through 10,000. So they can use their electronic devices and such. That's someone off the right there. That is American 149, another A321. Probably going into San Francisco, if I had to guess. And what time are we looking at for arrival? You guys have it on stream, but I need to look in my actual McDo here. 23:31 Zulu as of right now, which puts us at around, what would that be local time? That's probably 6:30 local time. Is that right? Around 6:30, 6:31 local time. It's probably going to be closer to 45. Yeah, I'm climbing through 16,000 feet right now, yeah. We are passing 12 right now on our flight. So, just continuing out here. Then once I get to 18,000, once I get to 18,000 and I see there's nobody around, then I'll slew this up to our cruising, which is 350 today. 014 Zulu ETA. Yeah, so the way it's interesting because the way Volanta works is it takes your current speed and then it factors your current speed for your ETA. So it's a little bit off sometimes. It's interesting for sure. So you'll probably see that number come down quite a bit as I continue to climb out. And then it'll probably match up. It might even be a little earlier than what the airplane's showing, because obviously at cruise, I'm not going to be at cruise speed all the way down to landing. So we will have to slow down, which will add time. So on the climb out, you'll see the time come down, and on the descent, you'll see the time go up a little bit. But it gives you a good approximation of when I'll be landing. Yeah, exactly. Very nice views out there as we continue to climb up. The amount of times I've flown into Oakland and San Francisco to go visit my grandparents that lived out there. In the wine country. When we would go visit them and stuff, it would be always Oakland or San Francisco, and the amount of times I've flown over this exact corridor is insane. Those mountains, those hills, whether they were golden, green, or on fire. Because, man oh man, did they go through some craziness out here in California. You're on Volanta tracking? Nice. Actually, I could probably pop over to Volanta and see yours too if I go on there. Yep, I can see it. Going into Zurich. Very nice. Very nice. Need to fly into Zurich more. I haven't flown Condor in a while either. It's pretty much my airline at this point. My favorite to fly in the sim. Heck, I'd even fly for in real life if I ever come across that in my career. 18,000, we'll go standard, and we'll select our cruising. So 350, punch that in. There we go. We'll keep climbing because we got nobody around us. Nobody, at least that's a factor. So got a few heavies coming from the left eventually, but they're going to be no factor. They'll be well above us by that time. They're all going into LA, so they're probably, you know, those guys will be climbed up to their 3.6, 3.8, 4.0, whatever they're going to be at in that realm. VOR to VOR though, right now I'm on a VOR dead zone, so I'm heading hold for a bit. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. That's it's cool to fly the older aircraft and like use the INS systems and deal with the degradation and VOR to VOR or fix to fix, and just, you know, you don't even, your flight plan basically is fix to fix, but you're doing it all by hand. It's a lot more work, but I think it is also one of those things that every once in a while it's fun to do. Like, I like my glass, not too much glass, but I kind of like half glass, half analog. But here I am loving Airbus, and this thing is basically all glass in a way, because you don't fly the airplane flies you in some ways. But I still love Airbus. It's still a fun plane to fly. Boeing's a great option for if you want half glass, half manual. And I do enjoy flying Boeing a lot. Especially when it's tricky conditions, like if it's really windy and stuff like that. Huge crosswind. It's fun in the Boeing. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, analog gauges for sure. I do a lot of DCS World as well, which I might put on stream at some point, but I need to get a new VR headset because I cannot fly on DCS without a VR headset because it's one of those things, once you fly flight sim in VR, especially for things like DCS where everything's HOTAS, hands on throttle and stick, where you don't have to touch anything. Like in the airliners, I have to flip a bunch of switches, and it would be a headache to try and move my head and flip switches with my mouse and stuff like that and type stuff in. But for DCS, where you have a lot of reduced systems where everything can be done with your hands, like just on the controls, I love flying in VR. It's so fun. And especially if you're doing like VFR or you're doing like visual reference for terrain avoidance and stuff with like, you know, say you're doing like, in my case, I'm bringing an F-16 through the valleys to try and avoid radar or something. Like, it's so much fun to just use VR to be able to vector yourself around and to be able to see stuff. But, yeah, I can't fly much without it. But with the analog, yeah, DCS, I have a lot of the older jets. So I do really enjoy flying the analog stuff for fighters. But it's a pain in the ass, especially some of the more study level aircraft. Because those aircraft, like in a commercial airliner, you have speed, but you don't have, you know, you don't have 600 knots or 450 knots or being in the pattern at like 300 for your best speed to keep your nose down so you can see, that type of thing. You don't have that in the airliners. So you have a lot more time in the airliner compared to the jet, and when you have analog, trying to dial switches and all that, it's like it's crazy. I only fly VR. What headset do you have? Mine is the Pico 4. Oh, so so I'm looking at getting that new, what's it called? I have to look it up. But I'm looking at getting this new headset that just came out recently. I think it might be that one, but I'm debating getting that one. I used to have the Oculus Rift S when that was like the newest technology in VR. That's when I got it, and since then it's outdated now. So I just need to get a new one. That's all I have to do. I just have to get a new VR headset, and I'm good to go. So I just have been lazy and not in the mood to spend that much money on VR when I've been doing a lot more like commercial operations and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm looking at the Pimax crystal. That's what I'm looking at. It's expensive. It's very, very expensive, but it's very good for Misfits, which is Microsoft Flight Sim. I just call it Misfits for short. I'm sure a lot of people do. And then there's DCS World, which both of those, the Pimax Crystal is amazing. I'm probably going to get the Super because I really want like really good quality VR for those, because it's really important to have refresh rate, but if you can have fast performance with the quality, it's great. Yeah, the Quest 3, yeah, good. That's a very good point. The Quest 3 is a very good point too. That's a decent one. It's really the Quest 3 or the Pimax, which is what I'm thinking of doing. Pico 4, yeah. I haven't looked up I haven't seen much of the Pico 4. I haven't researched it that much. But I do know that I'm probably gonna get that Pimax Crystal Super. I'm not sponsored or anything, but like, I definitely would say they're probably the better ones. That, and like you mentioned, the Quest 3. Debating on getting the new IL-2 Korea. IL-2 is pretty good too, yeah. I have not ventured into IL-2, but I do know a lot of people that fly on IL-2 and enjoy it. Holy moly, we're climbing very slowly, only 1,000 feet a minute right now at only 28,000. I'm surprised we didn't have step climbs for how bad this is. I'm in the climb D10, right? Yeah, because it says throttle climb. I was like, like how the hell is it climbing so slow? But then again, we do have quite a bit of people on board, and that definitely makes a difference, obviously. We'll love to get the Pimax, but it's way too expensive for me to afford my current job. Yeah, it is. It's a very, very expensive headset. So that's one of those things that I'm gonna wait for and like save up for, because I don't want to just dump money like that on a headset. And especially, like I said, you know, I'm not using it that often. I don't fly on DCS that much because I've been doing so much with Vatsim and Xplane and even some GA on Misfits, so. Getting lots of micro stutters though, GPU 932. Yeah. Yeah, that's my only complaint is like with the new VRs, you need a really good PC. You have to, because it just gives you a bunch of crap. But I've heard the Pimax doesn't do that as much, so that's why I've been intrigued by that. Just leveled out at 250. Nice. Yeah, you're gonna be there well before I am. That's for sure. Is for sure. Yeah, we finally got past 30,000 feet. Good lord. We've been climbing for climbing for like 20 minutes, 21 minutes now. It's a very slow climb. I mean, if you want a fast climb, just look at Richard. One of my buddies will climb it like, he'll go from the ground to cruising in like 13 minutes, 12 minutes, which is crazy, but that's him doing air show stuff and like taking basically no fuel and basically no passengers. Oh, cruise is 300. Oh, so you have like a step climb going out. Better weight restriction. Oh, chat, do you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to rename one of my streams real quick. Yes, my browser has custom sounds and it's Minecraft sounds. Which, speaking of which, I'm doing that on, was that Wednesday? I had to change it over to be episode 7 for the Let's stream because I realized I had episode 6 already in there. But that'll be on Wednesday also at 4 p.m. will be that stream. We'll be continuing my save. How many passengers we have on board today? If I remember from my OFP, which I don't, so I'm gonna go look. We have...
My brain is forgetting where it is in Lufthansa's. Isn't it over on the... I thought it was on the first page. Maybe it's on the second page. Could have sworn it's on the first page. I'm actually curious where it is now, because I'm assuming they give you the passenger count on here. Actually, I know how to find it. We can just go in here. Recall. Or not. Let's open up ATC message record. There it is, load sheet, prelim. 219 it looks like. Holy moly, that's a lot of people. I need to set up the classes and the actual sections in the airplane. I need to do that at some point. So, based, yeah. I love Lufthansa, but I would rather, for me it's Condor. I'd rather fly for, just because I love the 330-900. That's an airplane I'd love to fly at some point for the airlines, for sure. 330-900 would be sweet. Oh, finally. Cruising. We're almost there. Almost there, chat. Let's scope way out. Yeah, we got quite a while to go. There's the box coming in. Yeah, a lot heavier, yeah. If we look at my plan, definitely a lot heavier. 48,400 pounds of people and bags. And then we had, let's see, 25 plus another about 600, so about 2,600 pounds of fuel. And it looked like our plan weight was, for takeoff weight was 179,710. Sounds about right. Right now we're at 175,000 pounds gross weight currently. So that's, yeah, we're pretty heavy. There we go. There's my weight right there. And the center of gravity. Good lord, that sun reflection. Need a pair of Ray-Bans or something in this. Yeah. That reflection's ridiculous. Wish you could pull that iPad off. 54 passengers on board your flight. Yeah, well, you are definitely a lot smaller of an airplane. As you can see, it's a big Airbus. Well, relatively, for the narrow bodies. It's not the XLR, though. That's for sure. It's definitely not that big. No interior on Tolis for some reason, though, which is sad. They don't do the interiors. Oh, hey! There's one of our German friends back there. Zoom in on that. That is a A380. Oh. He's probably going into LAX right now. 97, yeah. Exactly. I mean, even for you, that's heavy, though. I would imagine. I think that would be heavy for your aircraft. Or like a heavier load. Probably not too heavy, but... it's probably a lot. Oh, I did have a SoCal. Nah, whatever. It's fine. Don't need it. Unfortunately, unlike Europe on Vatsim, the US does not do CPDLC and do the ACARS messaging, which is sad, because I wish they did, because then I could just use this down here. Because anytime I fly in Germany, Germany's got to be my, I mean, it's my favorite for a lot of reasons, but Germany's my favorite for Vatsim because they do, arguably, I think they are the best on Vatsim. They do such a good job, and the ability to sit on the ground and ask, or not even talk to them and just get your clearance through it and do all that stuff, request your, not really request your push, but like they'll give you additional info through there. I've had it where I've been at cruise and they sent me what arrival I was expecting because it was so busy on frequency, and then they just said to confirm it back, and then afterwards they gave me my descent on that arrival. It was, I love their ATC. It's awesome over there. But in typical German fashion, if you mess up even like a slight bit, if you are 0.1 nautical miles off your track, they're like, hey, where are you going? Immediately. Which I appreciate because it keeps people on their toes and it keeps you doing better as a pilot. And you also don't have some like random person that's not paying attention and not doing what they're supposed to getting in the way. And if they do, ATC snaps at them, which I, you know, rightfully so. They don't need traffic conflicts. Speaking of which, that is a freighter 777 over there behind that. Try and zoom in on him. Yeah, right there. Yeah, that's, I've heard that multiple times on frequency. I've also heard words I probably shouldn't say on stream. Although they'll probably end up on stream if I fly over there and they get mad. My favorite is when you get the disapproving, oh my god. That's my favorite. I've heard that several times because somebody took the wrong gate or somebody took the wrong taxiway off the runway or something, or they were taxiing into the alley and they blocked off like an entire alleyway. Happened at Frankfurt. They had a A380 push out of the Bravo gates and blocked off the entire thing. And I'm sitting there as a Condor 339 trying to do a long haul, and I think I delayed an hour for the fact that they had so many arrivals and so many people to sequence in after that. So I sat there for forever just watching an A380 that pushed tail facing onto November and the nose facing into the alley, and then he was like unable to turn around, so he had to call the push and do the whole, it was a mess. It was awful. And I have a sarcastic humor, and a lot of my friends from Germany do have a sarcastic humor. ATC, after that A380 had backed up out of the alley into people, then was giving clearances for people to taxi, and he was like, unless your nose is destroyed, you're cleared to continue on November, to a bunch of people, and it was really funny. He was like, unless your aircraft is rendered inoperative. That, and occasionally I tend to think more in German. It depends on the context though, but I tend to think more in German and then translate to English. And there was one time somebody's mic was terrible on frequency, and it's a running joke amongst my friends, but because they say it to me all the time, and it makes me laugh because it's that thing us Germans will do where we search for a word when we don't know it in English, and we'll just, because all our words are like descriptions of what we're talking about instead of just naming the thing what it is, we have a long... Funny because the air traffic controller was trying to find a way to say that the person's microphone was just really loud and really annoying. And he comes up and he just says, your microphone is, and then there's like a 3-second pause and he goes, inconvenient. And I was like, that is the most German thing I've ever heard on Vatsim. I was like, yes. The pause, the thinking, oh my god, what is this word? And then just inconvenient. Yeah, that makes sense. This is one of my favorite Vatsim moments. And then afterwards, me trying to explain it and then completely forgetting, because now I've been on German frequency and I've been using German to speak to the controllers because they speak German, obviously, over in Germany. And then I'm trying to think of a word and I couldn't think of a word. So then I just said incompatible. And I was like, that's not how you say your mic sounds too loud or too, like, unreadable. We were trying to think of the word unreadable, and the whole time it was inconvenient and incompatible and all this. We couldn't come up with it. It was so bad. It was amazing though. Like, for sure, my friends always, like, they'll joke with me. I'll say something like, oh, today was so, like, I struggled so much today with whatever at work, or something was really annoying, and they're like, oh yeah, you had an inconvenient day, didn't you? And I was like, oh my god. Why must you do this to me? But yeah, it's funny. Oh yeah, let's turn off the seatbelt sign, because we're at cruise. Sometimes I just picture in the sim, if I turn off the seatbelt sign, all of them just getting up all at once and just running around the cabin. Because you know how AI is and like what would happen. And I'm like, imagine they modeled passengers and then the weight. Like, imagine if all of them just ran to the back of the aircraft and then I just see the trim start going forward to try and counter it. That's probably the reason why they didn't do that, in case it bugs and it just causes you to crash. Yeah, Albuquerque Center's still on. It looks like actually Houston Center popped online, so there's a potential for Dallas to pop online too. Hopefully they do. I would like that a lot if we were to get Dallas. It would be amazing, but then the thing is, like, I just go in the back and I see all the people just standing in one corner of the plane, and the plane just stalling out of the sky, or like not able to take off or not able to land because of how bad the weight and balance would be. It would be funny as a mod though. I could imagine that being a funny mod, like having a random scenario where all the passengers just get up and imbalance the plane. But on a serious note, don't ever do that in an actual airplane. That is a dumb idea. I mean, you personally, one person getting up and moving doesn't do anything, but the whole airplane getting up and moving, that would do a lot. Because you're moving thousands of pounds. With that combined weight. Yep, so still showing 23:31 there. Zulu, so that'll be local time there about 18:30. So half past. Or half before, depending on how you want to do that. Yeah, have them all jump to... So that would go exactly like this. All the people would jump, which would push the plane down. They would fly up, and then the plane would get lighter coming back up into them, and then it would smack back into them. But I don't think it would do that much of a difference. I mean, depending on the airplane, it could do a big difference if you timed it properly. I mean, I don't recommend trying that. I'm not going to condone that, but I would be curious to know that. That would be an interesting, like, Mythbusters kind of test to do, to see how that would react. I don't think it would change much, though, because the time that you would go from being in the ground to being in the air to being back on the ground in the cabin, I don't think that would have enough time to do a drastic change. I think it might do a change, but I don't think it'll be drastic. Let's give you like a PAX view here. There we go. You're looking at Nevada right now, because we just crossed the line into Nevada a little bit ago. And we'll be coming up on Utah shortly. So we're gonna fly through Nevada. We're kind of in the middle half of the stint through Nevada, then through Utah, then we'll come through Colorado at the very corner for just a second, and then we'll be into New Mexico for a while, and then we'll enter into Texas and just barely miss the southern end of Oklahoma as we come into Dallas. There is kind of our route there. But yeah, still Albuquerque Center is still online, so we'll probably be talking to them through New Mexico. All my passengers are smoking right now in the cabin. Yeah, that used to be a thing. And then aircraft and fire is not a good thing. So, not exactly a practice they do anymore. That, and also just secondhand smoking and all that with other people. It's a lot of complaints and health issues that other passengers don't want. Plus, let's not give the pilots a heart attack with you know, lavatory fires and stuff like that, because it sets off those smoke alarms. We'll make it to Starbase. I mean, we'd need... Actually, you know what's funny is I probably could divert there, but I'd be on fumes going into Starbase. Maybe on stream one of these days I'll do a flight in there, in that area. Could go in there. Oh, but we could take a general aviation airplane on Vatsim, and we could just go VFR and go fly around it if you want. See if it's modeled, because I'll do that on Misfits so that it's actually got the scenery in there. And maybe I can find like a good scenery add-on for it so it's actually modeled in there. But also, if you're interested in Starbase and all that stuff, they're going to be moving a lot of it to Cape Canaveral near me in Florida pretty soon. That's going to be happening. They're going to have a Starship launch coming up. It's not. I don't think it's this year. I think the target was the end of this year, but we'll see. Probably be next year. Don't think lavatories on the curve would smoke alarm. Definitely not. No, not back then. I wouldn't think so. Right there in Misfits 2020, there wasn't much to see. Yeah, there's probably. You know what? It's probably a community thing you have to get. I would imagine. It's probably a community mod or add-on that you could put in. I don't know if you mess with scenery too much, but there's probably something out there for it. There probably is one for Xplane too. You could take a look. But I don't like flying VFR in Xplane because of that. There's just not much to look at VFR wise. So. Very tuned into SpaceX. They're planning for flight after the next one to be from... Yeah. I knew it was going to be sometime this year. I just didn't know when. I mean, it depends on how their flight goes too, obviously. But they've been making good progress. I follow it pretty closely too. Obviously being down here in the, like, near Cape Canaveral too, that I see it happening. Not Starbase, but I see... I mean, actually, I have seen Starbase... like, I've seen the results of what happens with the launches, because that one time when they had the Starship blow up over the Caribbean, and like over in Florida, we could see like some of the debris going out towards the Caribbean, which was crazy. Absolutely wild to see that. But yeah, I'm very fortunate to live in a spot and have a great view from my just literally from my porch to be able to watch the launches. It's pretty sweet. There'll be times I'm driving around town and I didn't even know there was a launch, and then I just see a rocket going up too. It's pretty cool. Yeah, do you know what's crazy about that, Quasi? Was the fact that after that launch, the FAA had to change all their parameters because they had, I don't know if you saw, but I think it was like a good solid 10 or 15 fuel emergencies. It might have been a lot more. But basically when that debris happened, they had to close down all those airports in the Caribbean where the debris would be coming down, because obviously you don't want an airplane flying out there and something at terminal velocity smacks in the airplane. So all these airplanes that were scheduled to land in there had to divert, but they're in the middle of the, they're in the middle of the Caribbean. There's not much to divert to. So a lot of those guys, were struggling to find what they were going to do. And at some points, ATC was just telling them, like, they'd say, hey, we're going to have to divert into our destination. And ATC's like, well, the airspace is closed. And they're like, well, we have to divert. We're an emergency. And ATC would just tell them, like, okay, you're not under my control. You're at that point on your own discretion. Use caution because of the space debris, which is crazy to think about. I mean, imagine you're trying to come into land and you're gonna land on a runway that could potentially have debris from the rocket, and like gets sucked up in the engine, or you're on final and you get hit by something. It's crazy to think about. Very fortunate that there was no accidents or deaths from that. Very, very fortunate. Final reach top of cruise. There you go. Yeah, good thing you gotta clear those mountains. Gotta get over the Alps. That and Quasi, you'll also, I don't know if you follow Blue Origin as well, but I was literally in my house when Blue Origin blew up their New Glenn rocket. That was the biggest rocket explosion in US history, believe it or not. I mean, it looked like a nuke, because like I was sitting in my room, and I just see I had the blinds shut because it was like late at night, and I just see my blinds light up like somebody flashed their headlights, and I was like, what the hell was that? And then I open my blinds and I just see on the horizon just a little fireball out in the distance. I'm like, that's not good. And I'm like, okay, that must have been the rocket that Bezos was trying to test. And then next thing you know, I hear a boom and the whole room shakes just a tiny bit. I'm like, oh God, that's not good. And it actually registered, I think, as a 2.4 magnitude earthquake. That's how big the explosion was, that seismographs picked it up. So, crazy. A lot of rockets exploding lately. Yeah, so most of it's just SpaceX testing. I mean, back in the day, there was a lot more than you would realize, because a lot of it was more privatized and not as televised and stuff like that, like the Atlas, or what's that original program? Not Apollo, but like before that. Can't remember exactly what the name of that was, but basically, yeah, back in the day when they were testing all the early prototypes and stuff, they would constantly blow up and have issues. But obviously now it's more publicized, so it seems like a lot more, but it's actually a lot less comparatively. Even before Mercury, there was I'm trying to think of that program before Mercury. It's like the US's like first like really attempts at like ballistic stuff. But yeah, even those programs had their issues at times. So, but to see SpaceX, like, yeah, they kind of just push everything, and they really they launch and test, and they learn from their failures, and they rapidly produce their rockets. So it's different from NASA's approach, because NASA's approach is like, we're going to take 20 years for a project that should take us maybe 5. With like SpaceX. SpaceX could take like 5 or 3 years to do a program, compared to NASA's like 20 years or 25 years. Because NASA is unlike SpaceX. SpaceX will launch with like, you know, a little looser tolerance and not really test it all the way through like NASA would do. NASA wants to know every single little detail before they even put a rocket in the air. And unfortunately, it holds them back quite a bit. And then when it fails, obviously they spent a crap ton of money on R&D that they don't have much money left over. That's why the program has such trouble, because they just spend tons of money to kind of go slowly. But they do a good job when they do it right, so. Give you a different view here. There we go. Yeah, you're right. that's a yes, 100%. Yeah, they don't. The NASA's priority is not efficiency. No, not at all. But they also, like, their testing is very, like, they're so meticulous about their testing, but they do it way, like, overboard of what SpaceX does. Because they'll, like, you got to think, they'll take their time and, like, they create procedures for the procedures for the procedures for the procedures, and then they get so far removed from the idea of testing is supposed to help you learn that they then are basically building from ground up to say we don't want a failure because we want it to work right the first time. And that methodology is just, I mean, let's face it, that's impossible in a lot of ways. You can't have everything go right the first time, every time. It's just impossible. You have to learn and innovate as you go. But they are a good group of people. They are very smart. It's just, like you said, it's more about the positions and the structure than it is about the efficiency in a lot of ways. Looks like our gate into Dallas Fort Worth is going to be Charlie 14 as well. I was just looking that up just to make sure. I usually Google the real flight, and I get their the gates they left out of and went into, and do the same thing. Big salt flat out there, holy moly. Look at that one out there. Unless that's just a visual glitch with the terrain, but that looks like a huge salt flat. Let's jump back up in the cockpit here for a little bit. Oh, we have somebody crossing us over here. United Max, 738 Max, coming across. Yeah, they're going to be crossing right over us, I think. We'll see. What are we left with? 8.7 into DFW. Still looking at the same time. Let's just re-update the winds here. Yep, still looking good. Interesting with the curve, it's like to bob up and down and cruise from vibrations on the elevators. Huh. Yeah, that's interesting. For sure. That's a cool character. Well,
cool characteristic. It's a little scary characteristic, but it's cool. It's just cool physics-wise. There's a lot of cool stuff in aviation in terms of physics and the way stuff works. Very interesting to see how engineers have designed things, and especially with like some of the recommendations from accidents and the NTSB and various investigative bodies, seeing how they the recommendations are implemented and the fixes that come out of it is interesting too. And there goes our United right above. Get a nice passenger view of it if I can find the right viewpoint. There we go. Sweet. That's really cool. That was really cool. Let me post that on my Volanza real quick. There we go. That guy is... He's going from Bozeman to LAX. I've actually done that flight on the sim, but I did that in a 737-900, not in the MAX. But yeah, that's a fun flight. Bozeman's pretty cool to fly in and out of as well. Very subtle up and down, yeah, I'm sure. It's probably just like if it's just the vibrations, I don't think it would be that bad, but it's still interesting that it's like got a little vibration in it. That must be interesting for the passengers too, like back in the day. I wonder if how many people got like motion sickness or stuff like that, especially since like air travel at that time was more limited with that airplane. Because I'm sure if, I mean, people still get motion sickness from boats and airplanes still today, so even, and that's even with, you know, aircraft that are very, very smooth. Let me take a look. I saw that message. It might be buffering on your end. I saw a couple drop frames, but it does look like it stopped. So it should be stable now. Yeah, I was about to say, it looks like it just had a little hiccup and then it's fine now. Every once in a while, my Wi-Fi provider has like a brief hiccup. It's not often, but when it does happen, it just... The stream has a little hiccup and then it'll try to reconnect and it'll reconnect fine. And then after that it stabilizes, so. Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right, Vintage. Oh yeah, fair enough.
No, I know. I've been there with like sometimes even when I preview my own live stream, if I'm like trying to see it on a device or something and the Wi-Fi is not working well or my connection's bad, then it confuses me, because then I'm like, wait a minute, is that actually my stream? And then I go check OBS and it's fine. So every once in a while that happens to me with my connection, but this time it was me, so that was not your connection. What the hell? Yes, that's just entirely water over there. It's just not loading. Vatsim loads in like big squares. Or not Vatsim, sorry, Xplane. Xplane terrain, so it's probably just part of the terrain that didn't load on the radar properly. It's there obviously, but you know. Terrain radar thinks it doesn't exist, which is pretty funny. Because, little fun fact, below the terrain in Xplane, if you go far enough down in the terrain, it's just water, literally. The whole thing is just water. So if you manage to glitch yourself below the terrain, you actually just fall into water further down. It's happened to me before. I've spawned at a terminal or something and had broken scenery and fell through the ramp and then just ended up falling into a bunch of water. Just about to come up on halfway there in about 160 miles. Got about 800 left to go. You know, his first learning to play, I care about Xplane 12. I crashed so hard I phased through the ground. Yeah. I have a buddy that on Vatsim, or not on Vatsim, on Volanta, he has a landing rate of like 250,000 or something crazy. 250,000 feet per minute, and the entire thing with that is there's a glitch where you can like fly into space if you take the default X15 in Xplane 11 and you bring it up to the highest altitude you can, put it the maximum speed, and point the nose down the maximum that you can, and then you basically have to slam into the ground, or preferably the ocean, at like almost a 90 degree, like almost straight down. And as soon as you do that, you go underground and it crashes and it's broken, and then it starts glitching, and then eventually it kicks you out of the ground and it like completely breaks the game physics, and you just start flying into space at like a ridiculous Mach. And like he's done it where he's gotten to Mars. Well, maybe one of these times we'll do it on stream, but it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. Yeah, I think I did. Yeah, I think I did show you that. The one where he reached like 250 million feet in the air or whatever it was, or more than that. It was way more than that. I think it just stopped rendering on Volanta at some point because it was just that high. I went under the ground, it crashed my game. Yeah, it's dependent. Were you in Xplane 12 or Xplane 11 for that? I'm curious. Also, it sounds like my KOSP sounds are just a little bit louder than they used to be. I'll probably have to adjust that later. I don't know if y'all noticed, but it sounds very loud on my end. Or at least louder than it used to. I have to go do these settings. The KOSP sound pack is very good for the Tolus.
Seems like Just Flight will be releasing the F71 SFO soon.
Ooh, that's cool. Xplane 12, yeah, the glitch that we managed to get it to work in is Xplane 11. I think 12, you're right, it probably just crashes you, because I think in 12 it just can't do the math, like I would imagine. Let's see. Yeah, I can alleviate some of that sound, that's good. Do like that. Do a little reduction in that. Ground contacts can stay up. No, that can stay up as well. That's fine. That sounds a little bit better, chat, doesn't it? Not as loud now. It's a little bit easier to hear. Yeah, I think that works a little better. Could even crank this down just a little bit, like there. So it's not blaringly loud. There we go. That'll be good for now. Wish Xplane 12 had a good DC-6 or Constellation. You're telling me, man. The Constellation would be amazing. That would be very cool. That'd be very cool. I'm just excited for the 707 stuff. That's gonna be amazing. 707 stuff is where it's gonna be at. That, the 727, they just did the 737-200 came out. We were talking about that last stream, or last flight on stream. It's all gonna be some good stuff for sure. Yeah, you should definitely try it. I know there's a couple people in the server that fly it. I think you met at least one of them. But yeah, they already did a flight. They did something in Canada onto it was like a mining outpost, and it had a gravel strip that they landed on. So that's pretty cool. Is that the ATIS in the background? I don't hear any ATIS. I don't have any frequency on for the ATIS. Might be on your end. Not sure. not bad in DFW. Ooh, wait, never mind. 180 at 9, gusting 19 right now in Dallas-Fort Worth. Holy, that's gonna be fun later on. We'll see if that lasts. Those conditions might change because we still have a little bit of air time to go, but a couple hours. But still, that's oh boy. Actually, we have like an hour 30, don't we? Yeah, about an hour 30 left in the flight.
Did you use any job? I want to be a bush pilot in Alaska.
You know what? That would be pretty fun. And I say this because the best way to get your seaplane rating in the US at least, the best way to get your seaplane rating, there's Florida, which has there's some small in the Northeast, but the absolute way to go is to go to Alaska. And the reason I say that is because not only do you get seaplane time, but they can give you mountain flying time, because there's a lot of things with interacting with mountains and the way the wind interacts with the mountain, and understanding where the wind is rising and how you get thermals and thunderstorms that kind of develop over the mountains, and also understanding how, like, the wash on the backside of the mountain, the turbulence, understanding how to avoid it, how to read the conditions and how to navigate like the valleys and stuff. Like, all that stuff's very useful on top of getting your seaplane rating. So yeah, if you want to be a bush pilot, that's an amazing place to go for sure.
Absolutely. I have radio sound on Xplane 12, so I normally don't have ADS. Yeah, I don't know what you're hearing then. Got 39 minutes until top of descent. Yeah, you'll be descending and I'll still have about an hour roughly. Just under an hour till my top descent. Probably a little less, probably like 45 to an hour. We'll see. We'll see what we get for top descent there. And it looks like for the flight, it's gonna be pretty much a straight in. Which I can actually just show you on the plan view. If I switch over to plan view here, you can kind of see up here, this is north up. So as I step through, you'll kind of see there's the arrival, and if I scope this in, scale this in here on the arrival, it literally is pretty much just straight into the runway, and then the blue is your missed approach. So if I scale this in even more, we'll come in pretty much straight all the way in, and then the missed approach is a big right-hand turn out to this fix out here. Well, very far away fix. Holy moly. Which is over here, essentially. That's how we would do that. I think losing frames, buffered 4 times in a row. Let me check. I'll tell you. Nope, I haven't dropped a single frame, so that's probably a your connection then. I haven't dropped a single frame in a while. If anything, just refresh your connection. That should probably help you. Sometimes YouTube does that. You'll just kind of lose, it'll kind of drop your connection a little bit. Oh, and we have another aircraft crossing over us. That is a Emirates 28 Papa, and that is another A380 coming over us. At least on my side, it doesn't look like it's buffering anymore, but I could be wrong. Could be wrong. Here, I'll put up the wing view for this guy passing. I always forget what keybinds I have. Good lord. Yeah, it's probably your internet this time, but that's okay. It literally, sometimes YouTube just does weird stuff, man. It's just YouTube. I've had all sorts of stuff happen on stream with connections and stuff.
Yep, there's our Emirates A380 coming over us right now. There he goes. Nice. If we go to the other side, we'll see him come right by the tail here. If I put myself a little outside, you can see him. Oh, that's lovely. That's good sounds. That's pretty funny. Thomas Cook airline flight. Oh, that's Condor, yeah. Or is it Condor, or is it? Because Thomas Cook was what Condor became. Thomas Cook Condor. That was a very good livery for Condor. I love that Thomas Cook livery. That was amazing. The Thomas Cook was awesome. Awesome, awesome. And then, of course, they now have the stripes now, which is pretty interesting. I mean, some people don't like it, some people like it. I'm kind of one of those people that I like the colors. I think the patterns like, it's not the greatest, I will say. It's not the greatest, but it's unique, so sure. Sure, I'll take it. Yeah, it's sad that they went out. But Condor had made a livery for it. Or had liveries for Thomas Cook, which was pretty cool. If you look it up, there's cool liveries for it from Condor that they put on their airplanes, which is it's an interesting looking airplane, because they were a subsidiary of the Thomas Cook Group, because a lot of the things in, at least, yeah, exactly, Quasi. The stripes are but the colors and the uniqueness, I give them points for. But yeah, the Thomas Cook Group was, they owned Condor. Because it's kind of like BMW or BMW. They own like Rolls Royce, they have BMW anyhow, and then they have Mini as well. All under them. And then like Volkswagen has like Volkswagen, Porsche, Audi, you know, you name it, it's out there. And Bugatti uses their engines. So yeah, Thomas Cook was owned Condor, was a subsidiary. Condor was a subsidiary of Thomas Cook, and then Condor became its own thing when Thomas Cook went away. I might do it for Misfits, but I tend to stick to the Toluses for Airbus, just because the realism of the flight computer or the flight controls, and just in general the feel of the airplane, because it's just better physics in Xplane. Misfits is kind of just, it's not realistic in terms of physics, but it's realistic in terms of visuals and that type of deal, and some of the systems on some of the airplanes are very good.
But in terms of flight model and stuff like that, I prioritize more the flight model and the feel of the airplane. So I stick to Xplane more often. I fly a lot of Condor, like off live stream. I fly a crap ton of Condor. Like if you look at my Volanta, you'll see a lot of Condor on there. But yeah, I'm probably gonna do some Condor on stream for sure. Probably fly out of my favorite in München. That in Frankfurt. And then they also fly into Düsseldorf. Those are like their 3 main. Düsseldorf they don't have that much, but Frankfurt and München they have a lot. Oh, what's up, Julian? Moonish. Oh god. For Xplane 12, yeah, I agree. It would be cool to have an A3. It would be, I mean, from what I've heard, Tolus is trying, after they're kind of done with some of the projects they're working on right now, they are gonna probably introduce a lot more of the Airbus family to Xplane. And from their history, they tend to not announce when they're gonna release products, so it kind of just, you get surprised. I mean, the A320ceo was a huge shock to a lot of us. We were just kind of sitting there and suddenly, bam, they announced, oh, by the way, in like 3 months, we're gonna get, you know? But it's crazy. Oh, that's good, Julian. I just saw your text. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah. Oh yeah, if Tolus made it, I would buy it 100%. Yeah, I agree, Julian, as well. The newer market seems to be the thing. I would imagine their next project is probably going to be either an A380, some sort of A330-300 or something, just because they've done the CO Neo type thing with their narrow bodies. And then the other thing could be, you know, it could be really interesting. They could release the, I don't think they will, but the A350, but I highly doubt they would do that since they already did that for Misfits. Or they worked partially, they just worked on the, what was it, the systems or the avionics? So, yeah. Looking at the history of the Condor fleet right now, yeah. Has to be, like Quasi and I were saying, it's just, it's a cool airline. It's just, I like the colors that they came up with, and I like the uniqueness that they tried to strive for, but good lord, it's weird. I would just say that. That's all I have to say, is it's just weird to see the stripes like that. I think it's a very, I don't know. They could have. I feel like they could have done better. Like the blue one's not bad. I love the blue. I love the green. But the beige, not the biggest fan of how they did, like how that just looks. Again, it depends on the color. Toast working on the 350 with flight factor, that still has to drop. Oh yeah, well that's gonna take them an eternity, yeah. Because it's flight factor. But flight factor's been doing a lot better recently. They've been improving their products. They just need to really go back and touch the 7.5 and the 7.6 and optimize them, but they've been so busy with the triple and the A350 that they just haven't had time to go back and really fully optimize them. Like they've been providing some updates here and there, but it's not anything remotely close to what they've been doing with other projects just because they're busy. There's a multi-billionaire, I would commission several flight sim devs to make a lot of different vintage planes. Oh, dude, yeah, absolutely. Hell, if we were billionaires, I would be just commissioning everybody to do everything. Just do it all. Do all the good stuff. All the iconic airplanes. I'll be sending you Condor photos in a few hours. Oh, yeah. I have to see if I've been on them. That's the real question. Never mind, it's a beige again. Well, I don't care. I've been on the beige livery. Several. What, 3 of them? One of them I've in the sim for the 339, specifically. Gonna get Albuquerque Center shortly if they don't pop offline. They've been on for an hour 29, so I hope not. Was that 32.8? Yeah. So we'll get that ready and the standby. There we go. Now we can just flop that over. Romeo Hotel? Yep. Mm-hmm. I know that airplane. Seen it in person. Pretty much seen the whole fleet, to be honest, but that's what you get for being at Frankfurt and seeing all their airplanes all the time. I mean, even in München, we would see a lot of the narrows. A lot of the narrow bodies we would see in München. Aer Lingus? Oh yeah. Absolutely, get some of that. Yeah. I don't know if I was a multi-trillionaire, buy a bunch of vintage planes from scrapyards, museums, and restore them in them. Yeah, right? That, find the manuals, find all the, like, the blueprints and everything. Oh. Have full fidelity all the way up. Just the full thing. And then you could make profit off of it, and you could take all those old airplanes and get the cockpits and then sell them as full motion sims. If you really wanted to go all the way, you know? If you really wanted to do it all the way, you would do that. What the hell is that? Just looked on Vatsim and I see something that looks special. Atlanta to LA on Delta. Aircraft type is a 380. All right. I'm curious to see what Julian thinks of that. Delta 380 going from Atlanta to LAX. What do you think of that, Julian, on network? Yeah, give them all the information, yeah. As long as it's declassified. I mean, all those airplanes are going to be declassified, though. They're not going to be. There's not going to be anything sensitive on them. there's somebody's cons over there. There's a couple of them. Heard someone did, yeah, exactly. Exactly, Julian. I was like, what do you mean you're a Delta A380? I was like, tell me about that. Tell me when Delta was doing that. Especially Atlanta to LAX, like, you sure about that? You sure? Sure about that one? It's American 2980 on a Max, Delta 915 on a 321 over there as well. They're in, oh, I believe that would be Albuquerque Center. It is indeed 32.8. So we'll flip that over, listen to the frequency before we say anything.
American 777, how's your ride been at 330?
Shit. No.
Too bad for 777. Thank you. American 2865, information November, we're in taxi. American 2585, runway T5 right, 2 right turns, join Bravo and Romeo. Okay, 2 right turns, we're going to join Bravo and then Romeo for American 2585. And you're facing west, correct? No, we are facing, yeah, we are facing west side, but
Oh god.
Romeo, 2 right turns, Bravo, Romeo. 2 right turns, and Bravo, Romeo. Plan, and then we'll be ready to go here. American 29.
See if we can get in here. Albuquerque Center, American 1711, flight level 350, inbound Dixon.
American 1711, Albuquerque Center, good afternoon, IDENT.
Loco. Alright. Ident.
Center, American 2664,
We press the ident right there.
loud and clear, how did you read me for the last 20 minutes?
Been trying to get to you for American 2664.
You can always send me a private message.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Somebody's been in airspace for about 20 so minutes. That's not good.
American 2980, leave my airspace to the north. Denver's offline, radar service is terminated, pre-change approved, good night. Okay, over to 22.
Transatlantic ops and a CRJ. Don't.
We'll see American 1711, you're under contact, maintain 350, smooth rides tonight.
We'll maintain 350, American 1711.
American 1888, leave my airspace to the north. LA is offline, radar service terminated, pre-change approved, good night.
Yeah, probably that's a good idea, Vintage. I don't think you want to end up in the Alps. I mean, it's beautiful, but not beautiful when you're in them at 200 something knots or whatever you're doing.
35, American 1029.
My fault, chaos on the can. Why do we need to know this? God damn it, Julian. Powered by uranium. CRJ's powered by uranium is just something I do not even want to think of. Just hurts my soul. Transatlantic flight in DC-3 took me 5 days.
Yeah. Eastern Express 8270. The wind is 26 at 7, gust 17, runway 4, clear for takeoff. Runway 4, clear for takeoff, Eastern Express 8270.
See, what y'all gotta do is y'all gotta get Piper Warrior.
November 338,
and then
how can I help you?
Take the Piper Warrior and fly it across the Pacific and do like a what should be a 12-hour long haul in like an A339 or like in a triple dubs, and just do like, I don't know how long that would be, but just load yourself with infinite fuel and then just let yourself sit at VFR altitudes and just go the whole way.
Alright, well now we gotta back up a little bit. Where are you located? Where do you want to go? What's your type of aircraft? And what altitude do you want to go at?
Oh boy, this is getting interesting on frequency here.
What's a flight to Hawaii that took me 22 hours from San Francisco to hide it in a Clipper? Oh my god. That's just horrible. Oh Jesus. Oh my god, that's gotta be 22 hours, man. You must have like started that midday and then done a whole evening, night, sleep, wake up, and then land the airport. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. I mean, it's awesome, but it's crazy.
29, runway 25 right, the wind is calm, clear for takeoff.
Shit. That's bad. Alright.
November 338. Here's what we're gonna do. So I can accommodate this right now, but at the moment I'm covering something like a couple 100,000 square miles of airspace. I know it's Vatsim, so I'm gonna help you out. But if I get too busy, I won't be able to do that. So I'll have to tell you to stop and put away. Is that okay? Okay, November 338.
What is happening?
4327, recorded out of the Phoenix class, recorded into the Phoenix class Bravo airspace at or below 2500. Maintain VFR, advisory to taxi, and information November is current.
What the hell is happening at Phoenix? Oh my god, so there is a,
American 777 leaving my airspace to the east. Fort Worth is offline. Radar service is terminated for exchange per
there's
today.
a guy at Phoenix, departing Phoenix, heading to Phoenix. Oh my god.
Eastern Express 8270, or to contact.
Is he doing...
Express 8270, come through 5.3.
He's in an SF-50. Yeah, this is interesting. Okay.
American 2929, or to contact, say altitude.
Yeah, he's trying to go VFR out of Phoenix with center, and there's a bunch of stuff going on. I don't know.
American 2929, or to contact, say altitude. American 2929, climb and maintain flow.
Only reason it took me 5 days in DC because I stopped in Gander and Greenland and Iceland and a few other places along the way to refuel and rest. Yeah, that makes sense. I would not go the whole way. Good lord.
2585, runway 25 right, line up a wait, the wind is calm. You can expect just about a minute in position for spacing. And November 338, go ahead with your UBAC.
We need to do a round the world trip in Cessnas. Yeah, that would be
important pieces of information.
interesting.
Squawk code 4327, so put that in your transponder for November 338, and I want you to stay at or below 2,500.
Yeah, this ATC is now having to
2,500.
oh my. He's having to basically spoon feed a new Vatsim pilot how to do VFR out of a class Bravo, which is,
taxi via
I'm surprised they're doing that for their first flight, or whatever they're doing.
26, taxi via Alpha, so point the plate in the east.
6 a.m. my time, stopped at San Pedro, fuel, board, more packs, then flew direct to Hawaii from San Pedro. Wow. Yeah.
American 2585, the wind is calm, clear for takeoff. Runway 25 right.
Surprised you needed the shuttle facility to take off. Honestly. It's a long one.
Eastern Express 8270, climb and maintain, flood level 310. That's 310, Eastern Express 8270.
Also, big news tomorrow on Vatsim. We're gonna have an update, which is going to change the entire way the radios work. And the only thing that's really changing is the fact that the frequencies will now actually realistically simulate its, I think it's range.
And then it's also terrain. It's terrain interaction.
Runway 25 left, Phoenix altimeter 29.
Or no, it's terrain interaction and then how the radio waves follow terrain. And I've been seeing in a couple RTACs that they're actually gonna start asking pilots for like, hey, do you hear me? Can you hear, like, you know, so that they can start charting where they can actually hear the people. So, fun go around just happened at YYZ. Yeah, for context, people, Julian's up there plane spotting at YYZ right now.
American 2585, ready to contact, say altitude. American 2585, climb and maintain flight level 210. Chop 737, flight level 370. Delta 737, I mean light chop 737, Albuquerque Center, good afternoon.
Yes! Good job! Good job, fucking center. Oh, yes. That was awesome. A light chop instead of Delta. If you don't get that reference, Delta pilots tend to report a lot of... They're required to do PIREPs, and they tend to report light chop quite often. So, that's just a running meme with... that's a real life thing, too.
33 east of Blythe, maintain flight level 370, and smooth rides today. Flight level 370, and if you don't mind, we be out of cockpit for 5 minutes. Report back. Go. Southwest 1684, information November is current at Sky Harbor. Let me know when you have it. You can expect those to approach runway 26. Information November is on board, and runway 26. Southwest 3160, you can expect visual approach runway 25 left. Verify information November. Roger, expect visual 25 left. We have November Southwest 3160. Thank you.
So did a 22-hour flight from Hawaii to Nocte Airport. Wow. You know, I think the longest flight I've done in the sim non-stop with just non-stop direct was a long haul, I think it was like 16 hours. I still have yet to do the up and over, but that's because I'm waiting for potentially Flight Factor will release the LR for the triple, and when they do that I will fly the Dubai to LAX flight, which used to be, I think, somewhere close to 17, if I remember right. The block time, I think, was 17.5. If I'm remembering that one right. Singapore to JFK. Oh god, yeah, that's a long one too. That's a very long flight. Fencing out of cockpit right now. It's very cloudy over the airport. Oh boy.
American 2929, climb and maintain flight level 320.
Well, Vintage, just avoid CFIT as much as you can. Terrain, well, you don't even have terrain radar. Yeah, good luck. that's the message there, is good luck. Make sure you follow the charts. Cross-reference with VORs, all that stuff.
Very good evening, American 806. We are 22 miles southeast
I
of
forgot to
the
grab the
Cameron City
charts
Airport.
before we took off. Oh, that's wonderful. That's good. That's what you want.
American 806, Albuquerque Center. Good afternoon. You're at a contact. Maintain
That's
flight
exactly
level
what you want.
380. Smooth rides today. Maintain flight level 380, American 806.
Bring a beer at least. Oh god. He heard 8 bottles to throttle, not 8 hours bottle to throttle.
85, climb and maintain flight level 350. Going all the way to 350 for American 2585.
We got root beer. Yep, there you go. The non-alcoholic choice. Very good. 12 crates of IBC root beer. Yep. Everclear. Better yet, just open the fuel tank and let people sump off of that. Don't actually do that, chat. Don't actually. That would be a horrible idea. Julian will know what I mean when I say you gotta have a shot of jet fuel. Eighth of the day. Oh, so you really like the root beer. I used to be a big root beer fan when I was a kid, but not anymore. I don't drink too much like soda as much as I used to. I just don't.
November 338. You're ready for departure, correct? Okay, do you know left traffic patterns versus right traffic patterns?
Oh my god, he's gonna do traffic pattern at Phoenix International.
So, a right traffic pattern, you're gonna do all turns to the right. So you're gonna take off, turn to the right once.
I hope you guys hear
level
this.
off, turn the right again. The runway will be next to you, will beam you. And then 2 more right turns, and that's how you come back into land. Can you do that?
Oh my god.
Okay, so that's called right traffic. The left traffic is exactly the opposite of that. So November 338, make right close traffic, runway 26, clear for takeoff.
Oh god. He's babysitting. Well, I'm glad he's able to babysit a new member of Vatsim, but still, like,
Flight level 360.
good lord, man. At fucking Phoenix?
United 269, Albuquerque Center, good afternoon, ident.
Julian, I'm assuming he's probably, like, got, like, 0 hours on the network, because he called in and said he has no idea what he's doing and it's his first day. I'm assuming. Because I didn't hear his call, but the way he's talking to him and the fact that he's in just a small airplane, yeah. And he's doing traffic pattern at Phoenix International. Who the hell does that?
United 269, you're at our contact, about 23 to the east of Pecos, maintain flight level 360, smooth the rides tonight. Maintaining 360, smooth up here, United 269. Thank you. Albuquerque Center, Alaska 35, with you, level 340 inbound.
Oh my. Yes, let's step on each other. Good.
Alright, 2 at once there, American, or Alaska 35. Say again.
Oh God.
Whiskey Flight Level 340.
That message alone,
35,
Julian.
contact about
Jesus.
75 to the northeast of Delhart. Maintain flight level 340.
Maintain 340, Alaska 35.
I'm excited to see the airplanes you got. I'm sure you got some good stuff. I mean, after all, it's YYZ,
Who
so
else called unanswered?
there's gonna be good stuff that goes in and out of there.
So I'm ready to taxi with November. American 2423, it'll be runway 22. Taxi via Alpha.
22 via Alpha, American 2423.
Southwest 1684, descend and maintain 4000. Alright, November 338, time for those right turns.
Oh God. This controller sounds like he's an instructor
29,
talking to a
89,
student
29,
on like a familiar.
offline radar service terminated for change approved cadet.
Change approved, American 2929. Yeah.
Like on a familiarization flight, or like your whatever you call that. What's the first flight you do? Forget what it's called. It's been so long since I did mine.
806, we able to get 10, 10 minutes out of cockpit. American 806, it's approved, report back.
I always just call it a fam ride because that's what it is commensurate. But
Southwest
okay, on my descent.
1684,
There you
speed
go.
180.
That was for Southwest. That was not for me.
Flight chop 727 is back. Flight chop 737, Roger.
This guy, that's it. Yeah, thank you.
Southwest
That's
3160, descend and maintain 5000.
Dude, I can't wait to see if this guy has like some
Southwest 1684, the field.
airliners going in there and the guy cuts in front.
2 miles, port the field in sight.
Raining now. Uh-oh.
November 338, runway
Gonna have a fun
26,
time.
clear to land. Southwest 1684, clear visual approach runway 26. November 338, start turning right, turn right, and go towards the airport.
Turn right and go towards you. Oh god.
338, you are clear to land on runway 26.
Ooh. In front of the other aircraft. We'll see how this goes.
Southwest 1684, all the way back to final, please. You're following a Vision Jet on a 2 mile right base.
It's a Vision Jet doing pattern work. Oh my.
November 338, when you do land, immediate right hand turn off. There's going to be an airplane to follow you that needs the runway clear to land.
Oh god, this is gonna go so well, I have a feeling.
Southwest 3160, descend and maintain 4000.
Oh jeez.
Since you have the patience of Job today, realistically, how long do I have in your airspace? The reason is I'd like to get a shower real quick.
A shower? Why don't you just disconnect?
I assume that's 2585? Yeah, you first. You got time, give me a call when you're back. Alright, 20 minutes max. Thanks, appreciate it. Yes, sir. Southwest
Oh, yeah, I do see that.
1684, runway 26, the wind is calm, cleared to
Do you see
land.
that rain? I just took a look in the Discord. Yeah, there's quite a bit of rain going on there. That's for sure.
Southwest 3160, turn left heading 350. November 338, you want to go back to the runway to do it again? November 338, right turn on Alpha, taxi down to the end, let me know when you're ready for departure. Delta 915, leaving Mars space to the east, Kansas City's offline, radar services terminated, for exchange approved, good night.
Going to Common 122 decimal AC, Delta 915.
Delta 301, leave Mars space to the west, LA's offline, radar services terminated, for exchange approved, good night. 31.
Come on now. If we're not listening. And just in the mountains, can't see anything. You know, I've read a lot of reports related to that. Those comments being said shortly before not good things. So be very careful.
Southwest 3160, cleared visual approach, runway 25 left.
Seems like you also got some, I would imagine there's probably, yeah, a little bit of bumps, especially with the mountains. Get that wake going.
Albuquerque Center, Southwest 324, underground El Paso, ready to taxi. Southwest 324, runway 22, taxi via Alpha. And you said you have November, correct? Right, I do have November. And then runway 22 via Alpha, Southwest 324.
Yeah, that's good. Just talk at the same time. That's all good.
Alaska 35 requesting 10 minutes out of cockpit.
No.
Alaska 35, approved, report back.
A whole bunch of turbulence, yes. That's right, Julian. Good lord. Alright. For us, it's pretty smooth up here. I mean, Delta might be reporting light chop, but it's smooth for us.
Southwest 1684, welcome to Phoenix. 2 left turns, join Charlie, Sierra, and Echo to the ramp. Have a good night. Eastern Express to 8270, leave my airspace to the east. Fort Worth is offline, order services terminated, frequency change approved. Good night. Already in Call City, Eastern Express 8270. American 2664, information November is current. Let me know when you have it. You can expect us to approach runway 25 left.
Not too bad right now for conditions. We're coming up on descent. You can see it coming in there on the ND. And still looking at about 6:30 local time landing. Nice 1830.
Southwest 3160, the wind is calm, runway 25 left, quarter land.
Possessed plane in my sim, and I see an AI plane just freaking out ahead of me. Oh, that's good. You know what?
And November 338, you said you were ready for taxi.
It just contributes to the part of having the bad weather in the Alps. It's getting darker, you know.
338, runway 26.
Just creates the atmosphere. It's fine.
Take off and just do exactly what you did before, okay?
Good lord, this.
Delta 301, leave my airspace to the west. LA
Good job to this controller, though, honestly, for having the patience to put up with, well, not to put up with, but just to teach a newer pilot on Vatsim, educate them how to do it. I mean, somebody doing Vision Jet at, you know, Vision Jet at Phoenix is, in the pattern, is ridiculous, but for center to accommodate, that's, good on them.
American 2423, you ready to go? 22 El Paso, ready for departure.
Good job.
American 2423,
there we go.
wind is 2607, gust 17, runway 22, clear for takeoff. Clear for takeoff, runway 22, American 2423.
To Sun Express Airlines.
American 1772, leave my airspace to the east. Fort Worth
is not us, we're 1711.
Appreciate your good day.
Appreciate your American 1772, you have a good one, see ya.
Okay. What do you guys want? Do you want an engine view or do you want a wing view? And you guys pick left or right, and I'll throw it up there for a little bit until we hit closer to our top of descent. It's up to you guys. I'll leave it up to the viewers.
And American 2146, request descent, please. American 2146, descend via the Eagle 6 arrival, runway 26. The Phoenix altimeter is 2982. 2982, descend by
Engine?
Eagle 6
Sure.
arrival with the runway 26 transition.
You can do the left or the right. I'll put it on the right side for now.
American 2423, radar contact, say altitude. American 2423, climbing through 5,800. Thank you.
Everybody loves the IAEs, including myself. I'm always careful to put my camera views also well ahead of the engine so you can get that good noise when you want like the external views for like takeoff and landing and stuff like that, or internal views, sorry. And then always on the wing view I try to get like, I'll move it up there.
1029,
a good view like that.
55, mutual traffic, 12 o'clock, 15 miles, opposite direction. It's an Airbus at flight level 350, 737 at flight level 340.
It's not me. That's for sure.
American 1029.
Can finally see a catch, yay. Yeah, you put your glasses on? No, I'm kidding.
November 338, affirmative.
Windshield
Runway
wipers?
26, clear
Or whatever
taxi
those
go,
are?
The wind is calm.
If you have them, I mean. I like my windshield wipers. I have them right here. Which was totally a good idea to do at yes, but you know. It's alright. It's fine. They're still attached.
Southwest 3168 Foxtrot 4, cross runway 25 right, join Delta and taxi to the ramp. Have a good night.
Ooh. The pass over waypoint here.
American 2423, climb and maintain, flight level 340.
Is the Panhandle VOR, but it's not in the Panhandle. Not in the Panhandle of Florida, please. Yes, yes, Julian.
American 2664, turn 20 degrees to the left, descend and maintain 4,000.
They sound awful. Oh god. Yeah, some of the add-ons, they,
American
yeah.
2664,
Yeah.
look for the airport, it'll be 10 to 11 o'clock in about 13 miles.
What add-on was it that I had that sounded terrible? I forget. Oh my god, I remember having one and it sounded like what, if you've been on the buses in Europe, it sounded like the windshield wipers on the buses there, where it goes,
visual approach, runway
it just makes that
25
awful,
left.
like, screeching noise. I forget what add-on it was. It might have been TOLUS without the KOSP, I don't know. It was either that, or maybe it was Zebo or something, I don't know. I don't remember. It was one of those on Xplane, though.
Southwest 324, the wind is 260 at 7, gust 17, runway 22.
Yeah, that's exactly it, yeah. It's like, it sounds like it's wiping dry windows. That's exactly it. Exactly. Just woo as it's doing the
In November
stupid
338,
rubber noise.
Just make sure you gotta keep it at or below 2,500 feet.
Oh god. So basically they're in op because you don't want to burn your ears off. That's about what you're doing. That makes sense. Makes complete sense.
American 2664, the wind is calm, runway 25 left, quarter land.
Yep, good luck. Don't crash. Get a good landing in there.
Southwest 324, radar contact, say altitude. 324, pass to 5,100. Thank you. November 338. So right now you're on what's called the downwind leg. So I want you to extend your downwind. The next turn that you would make is called the base leg. I will call your base leg. So keep going straight ahead. I will tell you when to turn right, okay?
Me and another American are going to be a conflict in a little bit. That American 1772 that we heard on frequency a little bit earlier is to the south of us going the same direction.
You're 2 o'clock. They're descending at a 2,500. Is a 737. Do you see that airplane?
Uh-oh.
Alright, no problem. Again, keep going straight ahead. I'll tell you when to turn right.
Let's see how that goes. We shall see how that goes.
Pitch at 409, leave minor space to the west. LA Center is offline, radar services terminated. Free change approved, good day.
Good.
November 338, base turn approved, runway 26, cleared for the option, the wind is calm, so you can turn right, and you're cleared to do whatever you want to do on runway 26.
Do whatever you want to do. I like that. I mean, that's essentially what the clearance is, but... Alright, let's jump back out in the cockpit, because we're going to come up on the end of their airspace, and I need to start thinking about this other traffic that's going to be here. Because that, right there, that traffic off our wingtip right there is going to be a factor for us. So we're going to have to be very careful on the descent that we don't get too close to him, and if we do, we'll just circle to the other runways, is what we'll plan to do. I'll just pull up the circling minima, and we'll do a circling approach, which will be interesting. I've not done that in the sim, so it'll be a little bit weird. I mean, theoretically, right now, I could go in and load up a different arrival or whatever. Or not a different arrival, a different runway to land on, but...
324, climb and maintain, flight level 280. 280 for 324.
And again, yeah, we're parking at Charlie 14 there. So we have to go to the other side of the airfield from where we're going to land. So either way, it's going to be a little while.
American 806, roger. American 2664, welcome to Phoenix. 2 right turns, take it down to Foxtrot 6 and hold short of 25 right.
There's Charlie 14, so we'll have to go... Oh yeah, we're gonna have one hell of a taxi, but that's alright.
Southwest 324, are you RVSM capable and equipped today? I'm showing your equipment suffix is golf, which is not indicative of that.
Oh boy.
Negative. Okay, you're not RVSM capable? No, sir. Okay, Southwest 324, flight level 280 will be the final then. right, welcome to Phoenix, right turn, you can taxi to the ramp. Have a good night.
Wow, cool.
Alaska 35, back to cockpit. Alaska 35, roger, thank you. American 1029, leave my airspace to the east. Kansas City is still offline. Radar service terminated for change approved. Good day. Frequency change approved, American 1029. Have a good day. American 2664 at Foxtrot 6, cross 25 right. Join Delta, then Tango and Charlie to the ramp. Have a good evening. Potential aircraft Albuquerque Center will be closing in about 10 minutes.
Just got through them and just in time. Be getting handed off here shortly. We should be.
Affirmative.
Waiting and waiting and waiting. Coming up on the edge of his airspace. I'm expecting to call soon. If not, we'll call him. Just to confirm that we can switch over. Yeah, I'll call him now. Yeah, we're technically out of his airspace now. So let me call him. In Albuquerque Center, American 1771, are we still with you or are we switching over?
You got better radar than I do. American 1771, you just hit the boundary. Fort Worth is offline, radar service terminated, for change approved. Good day.
Alrighty, over to the dark side, American 1771. Thanks for the coverage. Alright. 128. And then into Fort Worth. Let's get a good idea of what that frequency is going to be. So we'll go over here. Do on CTAC. DFW. 26.55 for into Fort Worth. We're going to get that dialed in and monitor it early because, what did I just say? 2655, I think? Yeah, 2655. Alright, Julian. 2655, and the only reason I say that is because we have that other traffic that we need to really pay attention to, so yeah. What the hell is that? Oh, yes. Gotta do dot message. There we go. I'm just private messaging that American off my right. That's going to become a conflict, so we can start coordinating. I'm going to let him go in front. So I'm going to slow down to 7.5 for now. And he says, well, I'm not sure if I'm in front, but I'm 10 knots slower. Okay, never mind. I will keep the speed up for you. Okay, let's do 0.81 for now. Birdie? That is 2321. Victory.
2321 for victory. Destination data I gotta enter. What do you say? 2322 for me. Okay, I will keep up the speed best I can and are all the way in. Yeah. Okay. All right. I just told him basically we're gonna keep the speed up best we can on the way in. So what we're gonna do, chat, is I'm gonna actually figure out my descent speeds and all that, and we'll just kind of keep the speed up for him. For me, 1-3. Right. For me, 1-3, right. On the
Ford truck American 777, type 8321. It's going to be on a 10-mile funnel for 18 right.
transition. Here we go. Okay, cool. I was just coordinating with that guy, chat, in Vatsim client, just to make sure that we're 100% clear of each other. 2990, I'll read that in a second. 35 degrees, holy shit, it's hot there in Texas. 190 at 9. 9 gusting, is it still gusting 18? No, it's not, okay, good. And then, how close are we to top descent? Not quite there yet. Alright. And then, we'll be doing config 3 probably for 1-3, let's see. Can we get away with config 3? We can, so we'll do config 3. And that's displayed there, and it's displayed here. Config 3 in 3 places. And then the ILS, we'll do just the standard ILS because it's VFR. That's going to be 791 for the decision height. So 791 for decision height. Actually, it's an MDA. There we go. Sweet. Alright. Just keep the speed up as best we can here. Auto brakes will be low. And it's basically a straight in. You can see DFW right at the top of the screen up there by the 1-2. It's right there. So we have this traffic off our right, which he says we're 10 knots faster when we were at just our standard cruise. So we should be quicker than him, and we're a minute quicker to him, a minute quicker than him to our first, to the victory waypoint on the arrival. So hopefully that stays true. We'll find out. I'm gonna set the bottom, which is 2300, because I'm just gonna descend the whole way down. Technically, I should be setting the bottom of the arrival, but I'm gonna set the bottom of the approach just because I want to make sure I keep descending and don't level and get in his way. I don't want to cause a traffic conflict. On the descent, let's go ahead and do that in the perf page. Descent says 0.76.
Forward traffic Delta 2020 on the OV7 arrival, approaching demo at
It's fine for me.
12,000, expecting RS 18 right Fort Worth.
That looks good for me. Alrighty. And we're coming up on when I'm going to pull the top descent, which is basically when we're about 5 miles from top descent. And then you capture the green dot pretty cleanly like that.
Forward traffic, American 777 is a 12-mile funnel for 18 right.
Which in fact, I'm going to go ahead and do this. And then start slowing down. And once we slow down, then I'll hit top descent. And there we are, top descent. There we go. Sweet. Okay. That green dot should come in nicely now. Just wanted to make sure we kept the speed somewhat up for his descent. We could probably do 0.79 in this, but it's fine. 0.78302 will be fine. And there's our approach phase. Sweet. Okay. Ready to go. I'm going to switch over to just strictly on 12655, which is Fort Worth's frequency.
Forward truck, American 777, landing 18 right.
Okay. And we said that altimeter was 29090. So we'll put that in really fast. There we go. And that'll be ready for when we switch from standby. Good to hear, Vintage. Hopefully the landing went well. I just started my top of descent and we're managing a little deconflicting here with the traffic on the right. That American over there, who's also going into Fort Worth, but he's on another runway, so he's going into 18 right, I'm going into 13 right. So we're kind of offset, but it's something we have to pay attention to because we have conflicting waypoints on the approach or on the arrivals. We have one conflicting waypoint that we're trying to make sure we're clear of each other by. So on the descent now, seatbelt sign. And we'll see how this goes. We'll make our radio call once we're about 10,000. And we'll brief this. So basically 13 right. The departure end is going to be close to the departure end of 18 right. So if this guy, for whatever reason, goes around at the same time I go around, we have to make sure that we don't hit each other.
Forward traffic Delta 2020 is 8,000 feet for the downwind for Highway 18 right, Fort Worth.
Okay, we have more traffic. We have to pay attention to. Managers are not liking the heat in Zurich right now. Yeah. Welcome back, Julian. Had to put down authentic German music to make sure the photo would come out good. Yeah. Oh, I think I know what you mean by that. But anyhow. Alrighty. Let's scope in a little bit here just to get an eye on it. We're following the chart. As much as I can, I'm following the chart. So yeah, with this guy here, I might delete the speed restrictions. Just to kind of keep the speed up for now. Although, I remember this is a thing with tolls, it doesn't really matter. They just delete all the restrictions. 305, I think, is what I'm trying to do. Go to the perf page. 302, yeah. Delete it out of there. I don't know why it's so... It's being a little bit of a pain, but it's not looking good the way we're going. Victor, or Victory, we're gonna delete that speed restriction too, because yeah,
temporary insert that, and we're gonna slow at Zeeman instead. So we're gonna maintain 290 down. Well, actually, let's try and get some speed here. Let's do 310. Just keep deconflicting with this guy.
Forward traffic Delta 2020 turning base for ILS 18 right Fort Worth.
Do 320. We're gonna do pretty fast here for a moment. We're gonna be pretty fast here, chat. Plus 20 Celsius? Yeah, it's not too hot in the way of heat. It's not too bad. This is not what Dallas Fort Worth is right now, which is plus 35. That's very hot. We're gonna increase a little bit more to 330. Just managing that closure, I want to make sure I'm ahead of this guy. Yeah, because you can see him, he's literally right there. So we're just trying to get as far in front of him as we can. He's off the wingtip there. Let's see if we can see him from what view? 2, this one. Yeah. He's right there. So, gotta just keep the speed coming up. Keep the speed moving, and then once we get closer to, once we get closer there, we'll start getting in there. All right. So the guy behind me, he says he has me on TCAS, which I hope he does, because I have him. And he's 270 slowing to 260. I'm gonna keep 330 for now.
2020 final ILS 18 right Fort Worth.
Because I know the constraints say 290, but for the traffic, I gotta go faster. In fact, at Zubov, we could probably slow to 290. I'm actually gonna punch this in a moment. And we will... Actually, we'll slow to 310 right now. Standard, there we go. You can see with that speed we just did there, we're plenty clear. So we can actually punch it back now, and it'll be good to go. Altimeter setting is set both sides and on the standby. Sweet. A 164, not bad at all. That's pretty good. Hopefully on the touchdown markers, or at least within the first third of the runway or within the touchdown markers themselves. That's a good landing then. Let's see here. Yeah, chat, we're gonna use the speed brakes just a bit, because obviously we had a little extra energy in there. I'm just gonna start slowing her down, just to make sure we stick with the profile. It looks like our decel point will be at victory, which is sweet. That works perfect. for us. Okay. I'm up on 13,000. A little bit landed before the halfway point. Perfect. That's fine. Alright. We'll set the speed brakes up. There we go. Get them armed. And we'll make a radio call. First radio call of the day. We're passing 13,000, direct victory. Fort Worth traffic, American 1711 is passing 13,000 on the Victory 2 arrival. Direct victory at this time. We'll be planning the ILS Zulu runway 13 right, straight in for Fort Worth. There we go. And that way, we made our radio call, people know what we're doing, so that'll work out. Scope in a little bit here. Might need a little help slowing down when we get there. We got a 15 knot tailwind, and obviously we added a little extra knots into this. We'll see if it follows the green dot or not. There's the 250 decel. Give them a ding. Wait for the retracts until we're below 250. Or below, yeah, once we're at 250 basically. Alright, and that guy cleared behind us, so that worked out perfect. Very nice. Alright. Yeah, we're a little high, a little fast. We'll get that slowed down now. Turn on these. That's the correct identifier. Help the airplane just slow down just a little bit here. .29 nautical miles. Once we reach 20, I'll activate approach mode. Okay, make sure that's armed again. Got the localizer now, but we won't do it just yet. 2300 is selected. Missed approach altitude is going to be 3,000. Hopefully we won't need it. But it's in there, just in case. Don't have the field yet. I mean, we know there's traffic there.
Forward traffic Delta 2020 making right here, Echo 7, Bravo to the Echo Concourse. Forward traffic.
It had to slow down a lot when I was descending, yeah. Me too. I had to a lot just then. Just doing 330 to facilitate.
American 1772, we're at Z-Man 7700. We'll be setting up for the ILS runway 18 right. 4.
Forward traffic, American 1711 is inbound for the ILS runway 13 right inbound. That's right now about 22 miles out, put straight in, Dallas Fort Worth. There we go.
Forward traffic Delta 2020, Quasin 13,
Quasin.
18 left and 36 right at Bravo, Fort Worth.
Almost hit a croissant. Alright, let's get ourselves set up here. Let's go ahead and activate approach phase. Confirm. Alright, we'll start decelling now.
Forward traffic Delta 2020 is clear on winds, Fort Worth.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. Holy shit, that's fast. And we are in range to accept that, so we'll go that and autopilot 1 and 2. So we have speed, descent, localizer, Cat 3, dual, autopilot 1 and 2. There's glide slope. Glide slope, localizer, Cat 3, dual, autopilot 1 and 2. Alright. We have the runway in sight as well out there. Technically, it's a little hard to see for us, but, you know, we see it. We're below 250. Actually, we don't have the nose out there yet. Hello, who's that? 73400. Holy shit. Speaking of, that we saw earlier, or not earlier in the stream, but we saw similar aircraft earlier. .13-mile final. Go ahead and get the flaps out. I know that margin's really tight, chat, but we gotta get some drag in here. I'm gonna help it. I'm gonna help it. We need the drag, for sure. Forward traffic, American 1711 is about 11 miles final, ILS runway 13 right established. Fort Worth. Okay, let's slow down a lot. Might need the gear here. We'll see. Yeah, I'm thinking the gear is going to be necessary here. It's not really slowing.
2,500.
We're established on the glide slope. We can set missed approach altitude at 3,000. Put the gear down. 10 miles. Put the gear down. Flex 2. In a moment. Yeah, the drag's helping slow down right now. That's perfect.
2,000.
There we go. Flex 2. Really trying to slow down quite a bit here. Had this twice today. I flew earlier today and airplane would not slow down. Felt like I couldn't do anything. Hopefully in this case I can get slowed down. About 6 miles. It's a little better than what it was earlier today. Forward traffic, American 1711, 5-mile final, ILS runway 13 right, Fort Worth. Okay, if I can figure out how to talk, good lord. Ignore the nose down attitude, chat. It'll iron out. It's slowing naturally. It's coming in.
1,000.
1,000 feet. We'll call it stabilized because we're going to be there. Missed approach altitude is set. Not going to take the aircraft just yet. Same thing that happened to me earlier today. I couldn't get the gear down. Even though this procedure is very, very quick with the speeds.
Approaching 13 right.
Yep, that is the runway we are approaching. That is true. Hey, my aircraft.
500.
Yep. At Fort Worth traffic, American 1711 is short final, runway 13 right. Fort Worth.
400. 300. 100 above.
Watch that
200.
tree there. It's not
Minimum.
going to be a factor. Easy, easy, easy.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. Retard. Retard.
Here we are.
10. 5.
Hold her off. Ooh, she's long. And there we are. Bursers. Out. Get the nose nice and smooth. There we are. Stay on center line. Decel.
5.
Okay. That's interesting. I'm gonna roll all the way as far as I can go. Alright. Idle. Idle reverse, 60 knots.
Auto brake off.
And we'll start clearing the flaps. Speed brakes as well. Get the APU up and on.
1,000 feet remaining.
Yeah, it's alright. On purpose, rolling all the way to the end. We got a long taxi ahead of us to get into the terminal, which is going to be on Alpha and Kilo for us. Okay. Pull that off. Put that on. Start the APU. And we can turn off the strobes. We'll clean up this. So we won't need any of this now. And Fort Worth traffic, American 1711 is clear of runway 13 right. We'll be taxiing to the Charlie gates on Alpha and Kilo. Fort Worth. And then we need to announce when we're
traffic,
crossing.
American 1772, 8 mile final, runway 18 right, Fort Worth.
If I had a parachute on the plane, oh, it would slow down very fast. But then again, these airliners with their brakes, they're very, very, very quick. You'd be surprised. If you put the biggest auto brake you can, they slow down real fast. It's crazy. Crazy how fast they slow down. Yeah, I'm sure you do. I'm sure. 18 right and 18 left is what I'm going to be crossing on Alpha. Let's just double check final because I know we have that arriving traffic, which we probably shouldn't cross right now. We should probably wait. Probably going to have to wait. Yeah, we're going to have to wait for that arrival. Because he's like right there. I don't want to just bolt across from here to make it. It's probably not going to happen. So we'll have to hold short and wait for him.
most likely. Do I have a wing light on? I do. I knew it. Oh, brake fan, please. A little hot on the right. As is the case with Tolus, the brakes sometimes just get really hot. And forward traffic, American 1711 is going to hold short of 18 right on Alpha for the arriving traffic, Fort Worth. We're going to do exactly that. Come up to here. And we're going to hold short because he's pretty much touching down. So good call on us to stop. That's for sure. We can go a little bit further. Right about...
And forward traffic,
here.
American 1772. We're clearing at Echo 8. Correction,
Perfect.
Echo 3.
And forward traffic, American 1711 is going to be crossing runway 18 right and 18 left on Alpha, continuing on Kilo to Charlie 14, Fort Worth. Nice.
Approaching 36 left.
Somebody's got a stuck mic. Here we go.
And forward traffic, American 1772 will be taxiing to Charlie 11 with Echo Bravo.
Oh, sweet. He's parking next to me.
Crossing runway 18 left at Bravo.
So that Max is also parking near us, which is cool.
Approaching 36 right.
What? Who knows what that was? Anyhow. And forward traffic, American 1711 is clear of all runways on Alpha. We'll continue Alpha Kilo to Charlie 14. There we go. Wonder what that was, chat. Yeah, exactly. Ow, my ears. Yes. I 100% agree. It was very weird. So APU is on and available for when we need it, so that's good. Switch the menu over to the ground, just because we'll need that in a moment. I'm gonna keep the roll up just a little bit, chat, because I do kind of want to get to the gate. It is starting to get the time for dinner, so getting hungry. Doing a little bit of a Southwest taxi here, chat. Show you the speed we're taxiing at. Then again, for this taxi, it's probably not that bad. Oh, you haven't eaten today? Bro, you gotta get some food.
And forward traffic, American 1722, crossing runway 18 left on Alpha.
735, taxiing out, 217 right. Over.
Okay. That's Julia Alpha, we're not taking that. There's a tug in front of us that doesn't know what they're doing and is probably going to drive onto the grass. Yeah, that's what we do. Okay. Alrighty. Yeah, that's how we operate GSE. Good. Oh, and a bag. Yeah, this is a cluster. Alright. Here's Kilo. Kind of want to fly in Japan, but I got no senior in Xplane 12. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things, you just gotta find... Holy moly, that Delta's moving. And also, that CSL is a 319, not a 321, but that's fine. Holy crap, that Delta was flying out of the ramp. Y'all see that? That was insane. He was moving. I mean, I was moving, but I was away from the terminal. He was moving at the terminal, man. Jeez. Going to Charlie 14. So it'll be, we'll just kind of continue down, and then I'm going to take a taxiway that kind of takes us directly to the gate. Because here in Fort Worth, they have like these extra lines here. This is where we did that Spirit flight with Kilo Charlie for Air Force Proud 95. We left out of here. But yeah, there's all these lines here. So that's kind of how that works. It's time to load up Misfits and fly the... Yeah. Yeah. Make sure you have an in-flight meal, though, if you haven't eaten all day. Alright, so this... Not this exit here, but the next one we're gonna take. Or I guess we could take this one. Yeah, we're gonna take this one. This is the one I actually want to take. It's technically Kilo 7 that I'm looking for. So we're gonna turn in on this line. No, next line over. No, that was the right line. I had it. I had it right. That was the line. A little off, but that's okay. I'm just afraid of that GSE that's just all sitting here. Oh, we got plenty of clearance. Never mind. Okay. Bring it over on the line. Yeah, there's clearance. Cool. Wait, where did we go? Oh, we went into Echo. Alright, we're just gonna have to do a loop around here. I was following, to give you a reference, I'm following on Navigraph charts my location, and for some reason my arrow where it indicates what airplane I am and stuff like that was not showing up. So now on people's screens, I'm going to be taxiing through gates that actually exist here. So that's kind of funny, but oh well. It's going to look funny to them, but it's not funny. It doesn't look bad on my screen. But that's just the scenery discrepancy. That pizza just got to heat it up. Yeah, that's basically what I'm going to do. Allow myself some pizza. Alrighty. Watch out for this American, because he's going into, he said Charlie 11. We're going Charlie 14, so we're gonna basically follow behind him. I'll just taxi external view, because why not? But see these multiple lines here? That's what I'm talking about. See, we were going to turn here at this line, but for some reason my arrow of my aircraft didn't update, and I was like reading the taxiway sign, and I was like, maybe it's just a big scenery discrepancy, which has happened to me.
That's 735 taking off 17
yeah.
Right, forward.
Nice.
Forward traffic, American 390 turning base to final, turning RS 1 and right.
We'll slow down for him. Let him in. So Charlie 14 is going to be basically right in front of this guy. Go back inside. Pull up here. It's not going to be this one, it's going to be the next gate over. It's going to be that one right there. That's going to be our gate. The marshaller is stuck inside the terminal. That's what you want. There we go. We'll just do this. Now if we switch him. Now there he is. Cool. This is totally not the right thing. Let's see, actually. No, it's alright. There's enough room. Okay, follow the marshaller here. I can't even see him, dude. We're just gonna do this from the outside, because whatever he's doing is... it's hard to see. Yeah, because he was about to bring us past the line, which is not where we should be. So we're gonna put the parking brake on. AP is available, we can cut both engines, turn off the beacon.
Dallas traffic, Polaris 800, establish ILS runway 18 right.
We can turn that down. Go ahead and get the external power and shocks. And we'll put low pressure air in. Switch that over. AP bleed off. Master. Disarm doors. They connecting the jetway? Yes, they are now. Cool. And then we can go ahead and get the cargo bins going if we want to. Obviously they've weighed a little bit, but why not? And we'll stop squawking. There we go. 2 hour 49-minute airtime. And we are here at the gate, chat. That is our flight today. For American. Did American 1711. Get a nice view. I'll get our buddy in there that we coordinated with. Yeah, that's a good flight. Wish we had a little more ATC, but that was a very good flight. And then according to Volanta, that landing was legal. 131 feet per minute. We'll go back and get a replay in just a second here. So let me do that. And I will disconnect that and do this as well. And just wait one moment, chat. There. Cool. And disconnect from network. Turn off Volanta. Just a second here, chat. Put Volanta. I need to plug in my headset because it's low. There we go. Headset is plugged in. Alrighty, chat. Let's go ahead and do Volanta overlay. Turn that off. There we go. Volanta overlay is gone. Let's go ahead and do this now. Let's enter replay mode here. So before I do that, nope, we're good. Okay. Replay mode, and let's drag it back
to here-ish. We'll take a look at the landing. Felt a little long. Valanta said it's legal. I think it's legal, so we're good there. Ignore the sounds. It just spools the engines when replay mode, because obviously they were shut down at the gate. Let's see this landing. I played it just a touch early. Yeah, fine. Acceptable. Center line was great, so that's what I'm happy about. And we'll back this up. Get a couple wing views. Let's get like one from here. There we go. Not bad. And then we'll go back again. And we'll go from... Where's that forward view? There we go. Nice engine view here. And we'll see you here. Yeah, perfect. Sweet. You were not on the line when you landed. Oh boy. Well, you had rainy conditions, some wind probably, so probably a few elements to fight with there, I'd imagine. Some contributing factors. That's for sure. Drag it back, exit there, unpause. There we go. Well, chat, I hope you guys enjoyed today's stream. It was pretty fun. I'm glad we got to do it. And ignore the engine spooling down. That's just the replay mode exiting from the engines being on. But yeah, it was a fun flight. I'm glad we got to do SFO to Dallas. I got to fly back into here with this airplane. This airplane's been all over the place, honestly. This registration, which is 986. So I'm glad we got to take it into Dallas today. There's a nice flight over and just chill. Just a chill vibe. But anyhow, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. I will be doing Minecraft Let's Play because I haven't done that in a while. And I figured, you know what? It's probably time I actually rebuild that house, because I built that house originally and I'm like, you know what? I need more space and I need probably a little bit better of a house design or something. So I'm going to do a little research tomorrow and I'll come up with something. So we'll be back on Wednesday, 4 p.m. Eastern. And we'll be streaming, like I said, Minecraft. And then on Saturday at, I think we said 3:30 or something like that, Mateo and I will be doing some more stuff. I forget what we're doing Friday. I'll tell you in just a second here if I can look. I'll tell you exactly what we're doing Friday. We are doing Heavenly Bodies. That's right. That's what we're doing on Saturday. And Heavenly Bodies is a space game. It's really, really, really ragey. We're gonna see how long we last before things go to shit. So, but anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you back on Wednesday. Take care.